And I also think that when you're supposed to be using experimental treatments and shit, it's supposed to be a last ditch effort to save your fucking life after all else has failed, and you're not even sick, you're healthy. So why you would be doing all of this scrambling to, I mean, isn't the saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it? Okay? Joy Reid is a puppet. I'm sure she belongs to one of these fucking fraternities and sororities, don't they? Because they all do. And she is reading off a script. She has a meeting in the morning. They talk about whatever the hell is relevant and what direction they're going to attack it from. That bitch might not be vaccinated her damn self. Everything you see on this TV is a show. And who's got the biggest purse right now is who is controlling the narrative and controlling the message. And Joy has no choice but to get on board with that or be out of a job. And so, you know, we have to understand that World War III is the World Wide Web, okay? It doesn't matter if it airs on primetime, cable news, whatever, because it's only relevant if it goes viral. If it doesn't go viral, it didn't happen at this point. And we have to start looking at it like that. People are either with us or they're against us. And they're literally pushing something on you that you believe and that I believe is a threat and danger to our health. So we got to stop being so damn friendly with them. That's how I'm just looking like that. You know what I mean? I don't really care what Joy Reid's motivations are. This is her typical behavior anyway. And I'm sick of people who just do things just to get attention and don't bring any substance and don't do any research. And they don't care. She shows up to work, she reads the script, she does the job, and she goes home. She doesn't care how it affects you because it hasn't affected her ass yet. But it will. And then you have these people that really truly believe that their family is dying from a billing code. This is why they don't want me to take the time to really break these things down for you. There's all type of reasons people get sick. I don't know. I can't tell you what happened. I do know that the leading cause of death in America is the hospital. And it was already that way before this jumped off. Sheesh. The change regarding immunity. I mean, this is a joke, and it's like they're gaslighting and changing the meaning of words on a regular basis. I can't do it. The FDA call was 8 hours long. I bet it was. The 3-hour mark is when all the doctors spoke up and challenged the FDA. It was really good listening to if they were pushing past the truth. Where is that available? Where is that? Okay, can you tell me where to find the FDA call, please? Lady Erzuli? We are running the narrative now. They're too busy defending themselves. Exactly. So all you can do is delete, you can remove channels, you can fucking silence people. You can't take away my First Amendment right. I have the right to not believe you assholes. You can remove me from your platform. I can make a whole nother one, or I can go to another platform, but you're not gonna like 1980 fucking for me. You know what I'm saying? And just know that, where'd you send the link? Because I can't get no link right here. Just somewhere to Google it. And just know that like some of us are not willingly going into this bullshit. I'm not just really, you can't incentivize me with anything. And there are people with integrity, I will say, that are speaking up. But there's a lot of fucking doctors who don't have any integrity, which is how we got here in the first place. And when you work for a narcissistic organization, the people who get promoted and the people who get put on the forefront are the people who are narcissistic, like the organization. Yeah, what's the source? Because I don't even see it. What is this? Now, some of you kids, because I be trying, but some of you kids, I don't really understand where we're going with it. I try, okay? But sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I don't know where we're going with it. Okay. All right. So just give me a second and cue that up, guys. I'll be right back. Let's see. Hey, feeling young, but they treat me like an OG. And they want to see on me, I steady bitches nosy. Steady put some money on my head, I guess you don't see. I won't put no money on this head, my niggas know me. I gotta be single for a while, you can't control me. Uno from the trace and no face, if they know me. And I show my taste in that case, so you know it's me. Imitation is a flattery, it's just annoying me. And I'm too about it. And it's dirt that they do on my name from the store, and I grew up about it. Time for y'all to figure out what y'all gonna do about it. These wheels keep rolling and rolling outside. 29, D5, B-side. I've been looking for prison finding peace. But honestly, that sound like a fair trade to me. I ever heard one of them stay front line, dark side. I've been looking for prison finding peace. Honestly, that sound like a fair trade to me. Don't invite me over if you're throwing up a pretty party. Looking back, it's hard to tell you where I started. I don't know who knows, but I know that it ain't everybody. Okay, 338. See a busy body daily if you want to get the turning up with everybody. Get the fucking on this anybody. Yeah, I got feelings for you. That's okay. Linear Zoot got us queued all the way up. Okay. Yeah, I'm used to dealing with disability. You got us queued up. I heard that. Thank you. Killing me, I'm out there doing everything they said I wouldn't be. I don't know what happened to the guys that said they would be. I just you at the top and they misunderstood me. I don't know what's happening in my heart is like a charity. Anyone with security outside, bring up D5, B-side. I can lose the present by the day. But honestly, that sound like a penetrated me.
And fatigue continues to be the most common, and severity does not. The severity of fatigue does not appear to vary significantly from that observed after dose 2. And a similar relationship between these other commonly reported systemic adverse reactions can be seen between dose 2 and dose 3. Frequency of fever slightly dipped after the 3rd dose, and use of antipyretics and pain medication were comparable after dose 2. Which had previously were deemed severe due to impact on activity.
How to address this issue of financial relationships at the beginning of your statement, it will not preclude you from speaking.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. This is Sabra Isaiah, the designated federal officer for this session, who is going to conduct the public hearing. And the next speaker, the first speaker for this session is
The guidelines, slide 3. We saw in April that vaccine efficacy is predicted by neutralizing titers. We had always known this would be the case, but now we had a correlative protection, slide 4. Also in April, on the left-hand side, we saw that both variant and time would reduce vaccine efficacy. Boosters would be required. On the right side, we saw the 90-day half-life of antibodies. It was clear that we would need boosting in the fall of 2021 at the latest. Slide 5. In June, we saw that the Delta variant and Angola strains had immune escape. The question now became, do we have days or weeks to start boosting? Slide 6. In July, we had our answer. We had waited too long to start boosting. Israel published data showing vaccine efficacy had dropped below 50%, the FDA minimum standard for people vaccinated 5 months prior. Israel started boosting days later. We should have too. Slide 7. Of catching COVID and being hospitalized over 90 days.
She asked me, can I assure her that the studies found her risk of serious harm from the vaccine is lower than her risk of hospitalization? The truth is, I can. Our trials weren't big enough. They weren't big enough to identify the vaccine caused myocarditis, yet now we know they do. Next slide, please. A recent observational study suggests the risk of vaccine-induced myocarditis in young males is higher than the risk of hospitalization from COVID. Is this true? We don't know. It's based on observational data. To know it's not true, we need a large trial that proves the vaccine reduced hospitalization.
Observational data. So that's what we're doing, right? We use some observational data then, okay? And the guy previous to him know what I wanted to say. He was basing he had these pretty he's got these bar charts and bar graphs up. Thank you, Rest Spirit, for your donation. Greatly appreciated. He's got these bar graphs up. And y'all have been finagling numbers from the getting up. So you and your magical charts, this is some of that funny business. This is some of that white collar criminal shit that y'all do with these bar graphs and these numbers. The observational data is more valuable to me until I can oversee and there could be some type of more transparency in terms of this research. I need to know everything about your population. And we need people independent of you who are not being incentivized by you to find what you want them to find because you're paying them $40,000 per positive test using a test that you admit here that you don't even want to use anymore at all under any circumstances. Not even for what it was initially intended for, according to you. Sorry, Doc. Sorry to interrupt you, but I know this is getting good. And so what he's talking about now is these children coming up with the heart healthy kids. Coming up with heart conditions. But see, the guy before that he had to bring none of this up. All he got to do is show these beautiful charts. We should have been boosting these numbers from going up. How are you producing these numbers? Are you using observational data because you don't have a test? And we have to keep saying that over and over again because that's how you deprogram, because it was said to you over and over again till you believed it. First thing I know how to do is consider the source. If a motherfucker that's talking to me is a liar, then everything coming out of their mouth is probably a lie. I'm telling you, I don't believe fucking none of it. There's nothing they can take. There's nothing they can show me. There's nothing they can say to me to make me believe them because they have no credibility with me. And throughout this thing, they have been caught in several lies. They have given people suggestions or mandates on how they should conduct their lives and what they should wear and breathe and how many people they should associate with. And for them to be so fucking smart, it didn't even work. And we're supposed to believe that's because this thing is so out of control, but we know that that's because it is being controlled by the Center for Diseases controls. Yeah, we control. Because we get here every day and we control diseases. And if we ain't got none, we're going to motherfucking make them.
More than they cause myocarditis in this age group. Next slide, please. The former FDA commissioner said the original premise of the vaccine was to reduce death and hospitalization. And that was the data that came out of the initial clinical trial. Except, as you all know very well, unfortunately, so did my nurse, the initial clinical trial did not find a reduction in death or hospitalization, likely because they were inadequately powered. Yet the former commissioner is correct that the initial trials should have been powered to find a reduction in hospitalization. Next slide, please. We need your help on the front lines to stop vaccine hesitancy. Demand the booster trials are large enough to find a reduction in hospitalization. Without this data, We, the medical establishment, cannot confidently call out anti-COVID vaccine activists who publicly claim the vaccines harm more than they save, especially in the young and healthy. The fact that we do not have the clinical evidence to say these activists are wrong should terrify us all. Thank you. Next slide.
Hold up, FDA. Did you hear that, Google? So leave my damn videos alone. So leave me alone, because there is zero data to back up that I'm no fucking lying. And if I was lying, I would be flying. Am I flying?
Thank you, Dr. Braden. The next speaker is Mr. Steve Kirsch.
Hi, I'm Steve Kirsch. I'm Executive Director of the COVID-19 Early Treatment Fund. I have no conflicts. Advance to slide number 4 with the elephant. I'm going to focus my remarks today on the elephant in the room that nobody likes to talk about, that the vaccines kill more people than they save. Today we focus almost exclusively on COVID death toll and vaccine efficacy because we were led to believe that vaccines are perfectly safe. But this is simply not true. For example, there were 4 times as many heart attacks in the treatment group in the Pfizer 6-month trial report. That wasn't bad luck. There shows heart attacks happen 71 times more often following these vaccines compared to any other vaccine. In all, 20 people died who got the drug, 14 died who got the placebo. Few people noticed that. If the net all-cause mortality from the vaccine was negative, vaccines, boosters, and mandates are all nonsensical. This is the case today. Death rates. Let's slide number 7, advance to the number 7 in lower part. This shows that the all-cause death to life rate in 3 cases. Only the VAERS numbers are statistically significant, but the other numbers are troubling. Even if the vaccines had 100% protection, it still means we killed 2 people to save 1 life. 4 experts did analyses using completely different non-U.S. data sources, and all of them came up with approximately the same number of excess vaccine-related deaths, about 411 deaths per million doses. That translates into 150,000 people have died. The next slide would be slide number 11, the nursing home. Now, the real numbers confirm that we kill more than we save. And I would love everyone to look at the Israel Ministry of Health data on the 90-plus-year-olds where we went from a 94.4% vaccinated group to 82.9% vaccinated in the last 4 months. In the most optimistic scenario, it means that 50% of the vaccinated people died and 0% of unvaccinated people died. Unless you can explain that to the American public, you cannot approve the boosters. Slide number 16, please, myocarditis. The paper just posted yesterday on medRxiv entitled mRNA COVID-19 Vaccination Results of CMR Confirmed Myopericarditis shows that the myopericarditis risk was 1 in 1,000. And that's an overall age range from 18 to 65, mean age of 33. It is not inconsistent with what the VAERS shows. Next slide would be slide number 18, ending of the trial. It's pretty clear that the Pfizer trial results were gained. It's statistically impossible for protocol violation to be 5 times higher in the treatment group. Why hasn't this been investigated? Slide number 19. Maddie DeGray was 12 when she enrolled in the Pfizer phase 3 trial for kids. Now she's paralyzed for life. It wasn't reported in the Pfizer results. I told Janet Woodcock there was no investigation. Please tell us why this fraud was not investigated. And finally, slide number 20, please. Early treatments are a much better alternative to boosters. The proof is that in Israel, cases are at an all-time high. In India, Uttar Pradesh is now COVID-19 free as of today. Almost nobody there is vaccinated. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next speaker is Mr. David Weidman.
Thank you, Dr. Monco. BCR written comments. Next slide, C, for our disclosures. And next slide C. We just launched a paper by FDA vaccine officials. We find ourselves agreeing with them, but for different reasons. We have an unclear need with unclear motivation, significant safety concerns, poor evidence of sustained booster efficacy, and wrong priorities. So while FDA and Pfizer can't agree about waning efficacy, let's go to next slide B. We saw recently CDC's apparently withholding key data from ACIP prior to recommending the Pfizer vaccine and revealing that the primary driver for approving Comirnaty was to overcome hesitancy through regulatory misdirection. We agree with others that this has become politicized. Next slide E. Pfizer's booster evidence today is weak. They are small studies in mostly younger subjects. They are short term. There is no randomized control. There are no clinical outcome data, only serology. Inadequate safety given this is a gene therapy product. Where are the data from the 10,000 patient study? Next slide F. If FDA cannot assure us of the safety of 2 doses, how can they assure us of 3? We see strong signals for death, myocardial infarction, and coagulopathy that need transparent investigation. Next slide G. We can find 3 potential causes of vaccine-associated deaths. Note the second cause among vaccinees. Next slide H. Daily cases in Israel increase upon booster rollout compared with the same period last year. Please note the correct rollout is July the 1st of the 130 number. The Israel booster presented today has matching censoring bias seen in related studies, non-comparable populations, possible clustering bias, inadequate accounting for early vaccine effects, and a short follow-up in mainly older people. Next slide I. Others show unexplained Israeli deaths lockstepping with booster rollout. This looks like the second call death we said before in vaccine rejected by the New England Journal of Medicine in February. Next slide J. Other safety concerns not voiced in the label are revealed in studies funded offline by NIH for menstrual disorders. Next slide K. And offline by CDC in a disturbing revelation of an urgent need to monitor safety in pregnancy. Put this in the label. Next slide L. Long-term safety, no cancer studies were performed. Moderna said its vaccine was a gene therapy product. Why is the FDA not requiring 5 to 15 in cancer and other studies per their gene therapy guidance? Next slide N. We propose the term PCOGs to describe the wide spectrum of events being reported. Next slide N. We are running out of options. Vaccine hesitancy won't be solved by bullying or coercion. Address safety.
PCOGs, they called it. Post-COVID vaccine syndrome. PCOVS, but the abbreviation is PCOVS. Post-COVID vaccine syndrome. So remember that, so we can add that into the vocabulary. So they've got a name for this stuff. We're the conspiracy theorists and we talk about this in public, but these are the conversations that are being had. Okay.
To describe the wide spectrum of events being reported. Next slide N. We are running out of options. Vaccine hesitancy won't be solved by bullying or coercion. Address safety, show convincing booster efficacy, revisit repurpose drugs. Next slide O. We reverse the findings of flawed landmark studies that have misguided policy. Journals refuse to correct these defects, and Dr. Rubin's seat on this committee is a conflict. Next slide P. This is what has to be done. Thank you very much.
Okay, so there were slides provided for that. I want to go back and compare data insufficient to inform vaccine-associated risk of pregnancy, encourage individuals exposed to Comirnaty. Comirnaty is the one that's supposed to be approved, right? Exposed to Comirnaty around the time of conception or during pregnancy to register with a pregnancy registry. Okay, so they want it to be, let's keep track of pregnant women who are taking Comirnaty, but Comirnaty ain't on even on shelves. So this is why you don't have no damn data, because y'all keep playing these little reindeer games. There's an urgent need to monitor the safety of these vaccines during around the time of pregnancy. And whatever you can't do pregnant, you ain't supposed to do right while you're breastfeeding either, just so you know. Balancing booster pros and cons. Despite vaccine, the efficacy breakthrough infections, though milder, are occurring. It's a lie. Vaccine hesitancy is generally not rationally based and will not be affected by availability of boosters. What the fuck does that mean? Vaccine hesitancy is generally not rationally based. According to who? Following normal vaccination protocols with months of delay is within normal practice for vaccination. A phased booster approach would allow greater global vaccination availability. The United States could boost international vaccine. Okay, so listen, so you still saying boost them, you're just saying don't do it yet. And it's this softball game. That's why I'm like, I can't even tell who's towing the line and who is just like half-ass informed, because I don't understand based on everything else that was said. Like, no, you need to cancel all of it. A phased booster vaccination approach is reasonable, practical, and justified. CDC has already approved immunocompromised booster vaccination for chemotherapy and other patients. Don't nobody see nothing wrong with that? Vaccines requiring uninterrupted cold chain will not be utilized unless it develops in the country. Booster vaccine. Okay, they slipped these slides past real quick. And I just wanted to see what in the hell was going on. Okay, let's.
Just one or two. Such people are obviously less likely to volunteer to participate in this trial. So we won't have the data to answer the question. Yet if the booster is approved, such people will surely be mandated to receive a first dose. Final slide, B, please. I'll end with a question. Last week, 3 medical licensing boards said that they could revoke doctors' medical licenses for providing COVID vaccine misinformation. I'm worried about the chilling effects here. There are clearly many remaining unknowns, and science is all about probing unknowns. But in the present supercharged climate, and I'll point out that multiple members of this committee are certified by these boards, I want to ask FDA, what is FDA doing to ensure that those advising it are able to speak freely without fear of reprisal? Thank you for your attention.
Do they ever get around to answer that question?
The next speaker is Dr. Michael Caron.
Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Carone, Director of Public Citizens Health Research Group. I have no financial conflict of interest. Public Citizens supported the emergency use authorization and subsequent approval of the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine because clinical trial data demonstrated the vaccine was highly effective and generally safe. However, Pfizer and BioNTech have failed to provide sufficient evidence to assess the risk-benefit profile of a booster or third dose of their COVID-19 vaccine in individuals aged 16 or older in the general population. In particular, there is a lack of data on the effectiveness and its duration of booster vaccination in preventing important COVID-19 related outcomes, that is, serious illness resulting in hospitalization or death, in individuals aged 16 and older in the general population, and safety data for booster vaccination is very limited. Importantly, observational studies indicate that the primary series of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine still affords robust protection against severe COVID-19 disease and death in the U.S. We agree with the following assessment and conclusion offered by Drs. Gruber and Krause and other experts in their viewpoint article published in The Lancet this week. Quote, current evidence does not appear to show a need for boosting in the general population in which efficacy against severe disease remains high. The limited supply of COVID-19 vaccines will save the most lives if made available to people who are at appreciable risk of serious disease and have not yet received any vaccine. Even if some gain can ultimately be obtained from boosting, it will not outweigh the benefits of providing initial protection to the unvaccinated. If vaccines are deployed where they would do the most good, they would hasten the end of the pandemic by inhibiting further evolution of variants. End quote. Finally, any move to widespread distribution of COVID-19 vaccine boosters in the U.S. would make it even more ethically imperative that the U.S. government move to ramp up global vaccine manufacturing so that everyone on the planet can be vaccinated. The world currently is suffering an artificial scarcity of high-quality COVID-19 vaccines because governments are permitting drug corporations to maintain monopolies. While the U.S. has been planning its booster vaccination campaign, the vast majority of people in low and middle income countries have no access to any.
Now you hear the guy in the back is coughing because this is fucking hilarious.
COVID-19 vaccine, let alone the highly effective mRNA vaccine. If the U.S. is to proceed with COVID-19 vaccine boosters, we take on a special, greater obligation to do everything in our power to get as many vaccine doses as possible, as quickly as possible, to people in low and middle income countries, and especially to invest immediately in expanded manufacturing to create an adequate supply to vaccinate the entire world. Thank you for your attention.
Yeah, that wasn't me. That's the doctor coughing. Look.
Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Carone, Director of Public Citizen Health Research Group. I have no financial conflict of interest, and ultimately to be obtained for boosting, it will not outweigh the benefits of providing initial protection to the unvaccinated. If vaccines are deployed where they would do the most good, they would hasten the end of the pandemic by inhibiting further evolution of variants. End quote. Finally, any move to widespread distribution of COVID-19 vaccine boosters in the U.S. would make it even more ethically imperative that the U.S. government move to ramp up global vaccine manufacturing so that everyone on the planet can be vaccinated. The world currently is suffering an artificial scarcity of high-quality COVID-19 vaccines because governments are permitting drug corporations to maintain monopolies. While the U.S. has been planning its booster vaccination campaign, the vast majority of people in low and middle income countries have no access to any COVID-19 vaccine, let alone the highly effective mRNA vaccine.
I mean, everything that he said was such horse shit that it makes my head hurt. Vaccinate everybody on the fucking planet, huh? The lady ate a bat, and now everybody on the planet needs to purchase a vaccine. But no. He's saying fuck Pfizer. Why they get to have a booster shot that everybody's going to be mandated to take when Pfizer's the only one that is making or has a booster shot available? What we need to be doing is making sure that everybody has been vaccinated on the fucking planet first before we get to boosting it. And we need to open it up so that there are other companies, as many other companies available as possible that wants to throw their hat in the ring and make some bullshit and try to get, all my homies, my other white collar criminal crony homies who, like Moderna, want to get in this business and they want their very, very first vaccine that they ever put out into the market that goes to a human being, they want it going into your child's arm. And that's fair. Because they should have the right to do so because Pfizer and Moderna and Johnson & Johnson have to do it. And everybody else needs to make sure. Then once everybody on the fucking planet, everybody and their mother and their damn dog has been vaccinated. Then you can talk about a booster so that we can all make a booster, but we can all get this booster money. Pfizer is not going to sit here and just make all the coins. But it's a conflict of interest. Anyway, while y'all sitting here saying, we don't have a conflict. Hi, my name is Dr. So there's no conflict of interest. Your lying motherfucking ass. But the guy who is the head of the FDA worked for Pfizer, didn't he? Wasn't that the story? Let's pull this up. Because we don't want to spout any conspiracy theories. Right? Pfizer. What's cracking?
Oh, hey, Kiki, what's going on? I couldn't hold it back anymore. I'm fucking furious. I'm sorry, I'm just furious. These folks are damn psychotic. Now, mind you, the gentleman that was quoting the statistics about the death, I'm sorry, how can I say this so we can be on code? The no longer existing individuals, who participated in the trial, you can't find those studies anymore. I tried looking for them. Maybe I'm not good at Google or whatever, but I can't find the studies anymore. But you saw how he was sitting there quoting the scientific facts. And then you have this other jack behind, come on, saying that the world needs to be vaccinated first before you start talking about boosters. This is the problem. They just blow past the data. No one's pumping the brake. And they just want to just make sure they mandate everyone in God's green earth who has a job to have a vaccination. When they just stated with their own FDA, as they just said, the efficacy is just not there. Now, what really pisses me off, another thing about this, that earlier I was listening to Tariq Nasheed earlier, and he talked about how the FDA also changed the language of the word immunity. Instead of it being immune to meaning that you don't get the disease state, it means they switched to protection. Well, that's very ambiguous. You know what I'm saying? You can get a condom and get protection. You can get a bulletproof vest to get a protection. But if you're giving us something and you're telling us that we're supposed to be immune if we take this, and you're not being immune, then therefore you can't use the word immunity. But so that's the reason why they're changed it from immunity to protection. So the potential of protection when you take this vaccine, take this Jim Jones. This is bull crap. And yes, the person who's a part of the FDA, it did used to work for Pfizer. And yes, and I understand that I work for the enemy. I do understand. But at the same point in time, this is utter bullshit. And I'm not taking the dang, Jim Jones, even though it's mandated.
We all do. This is a system, like, it's an ecosystem that is designed to maintain its own survival. And we are either helping it survive or we're in its way. But it ain't no motherfucking we the people. All that shit. Ain't none of that going on.
Yeah, democracy is a farce.
Huh?
Democracy and voting is a farce. It's a complete farce at this junction in time.
How do you feel about Larry Elder losing the election? I mean, was there ever any doubt in your mind that he would lose?
It's so funny. That's what I had. Remember I told you that I was one more thing I wanted to talk to you about? This is what I wanted to talk to you about when we were talking on the phone the other day. I of course we know he's going to lose. Why? Because they cheat. Come on, Kiki, you know there's no steal that mud. California is the epicenter of the fucking liberals. Of course they cheating in every county. Now, mind you, do I rock with Larry Elder? Absolutely not. I do not rock with him. I don't mess with him. But I like the chaos that he would bring. I love his chaos. And so that's why I wish that Gavin Newsom lost, because I cannot stand these damn Democratic, these liberals, because these racist bastards are the most vile people.
Do you feel like the Republicans really even put up a fight? Like, in terms of, was there really a real effort to get rid of him, do you think?
If they really wanted to get rid of him, they would have put their money behind the former San Diego mayor who was running. What's his name? Oh, Lord Jesus. Let me look this up. Hold on.
And not Caitlyn. I just feel like you guys don't want Caitlyn because you're transphobic.
If they really cared about who was, if they really wanted to do it, they would have went after, put their money behind former San Diego mayor Kevin Falconer. Because the thing is, I was born and raised in San Diego, and pretty much we just get blessed with really great mayors, and the city runs efficiently. Yeah, there's some messy, there's some bumpiness, there's some dustiness going on, but the dustiness is nothing that big. It's like stuff that you be like, oh man, he messed up, he gotta go. It's not like a big scandal or nothing like that. And so the bottom line, economic growth went there. He's in charge of the tourism increased like tenfold, money came in, more investment, stuff like that. So if they really cared about, they would have went after him. He was a Republican as well. So, but Larry Elder, I think that the reason why they put their money behind Larry Elder because they wanted to make sure. I don't understand that play, because Larry Elder was just like completely not someone that I would vote for. Period. Now, if they would have went after Kevin Falconer and they would have talked about economic progress, jobs, and careers, because he had that experience and has the efficacy of that, then yeah.
What if they would have run Kevin Samuels?
Oh, see, why you being messy right now? See, here you go. Here we go.
I'm not being messy. No, it's a real question. Humor me. We've gotten more votes than Larry Elder.
Kevin Samuels is more of a nationwide He would be a nationwide politician. He wouldn't be a California. He wouldn't be a California. Maybe nationwide, yeah, but not for California. But think about it. Larry Elder, what was he going to bring to the table? He was not going to. And the thing is, when you want to have a recall and you want to do the lesser of two evils, and you'll go with the sequel 9 times out of 10 because if the person that there's no viable alternative, and the Republicans didn't put money behind the person who could have really done very well for California, Kevin Falconer, but they wanted to sit there and play these games with the species, and then Larry Elder, and then also the other person from YouTube. So I don't know. I just I don't know. It's just too ridiculous. It's very clear that voting doesn't work. It's very clear democracy is a farce. And this is a rat race that I just completely am not going to invest my time in anymore. As Shirley Usar would say, save yourself.
I think it's at the save yourself portion of the show for sure. Okay, so the other thing, while I have you on the line, Fauci is saying that he wants to start vaccinating school children.
I'm gonna see if I can get on
under the age of friggin' 12. Oh, and then Joe Biden and this mandate. So last time we were talking about OSHA, and apparently the last 10 times that somebody has tried to force OSHA to implement some type of mandate. What are you doing? I can't even. What is she?
Okay, while Kiki's in her pause mode, she'll either be yelling at her dog or her daughter. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I know it's not a lot of us watching tonight. I don't get on this subject matter. And the reason why I don't get on this subject matter is because there's so much talked about this subject matter.
Okay, so Kiki's handling business right now. In the meantime,
I'm so sorry. My daughter,
okay, no, it's all good. I was getting ready to talk about something.
But so far, the mandate is not even in effect. Okay, we got.
But Kiki, you got to understand the last thing that the Attorney General should do and the governor should do is fight. Remember, these are liberals. They love war because as long as you're fighting them, you're not beating them and progressing the humanity. So them writing a letter saying they're going to go fight, that's what they want. Remember, Kiki, you know how these liberals were. We grew up in this bullshit. Me, you, Shirley, Tree, and Diamond and Silk, we know how these liberals roll. We had to be forced to deal with these mugs. They love fight because they know as long as you're fighting them, they're going to have other teams covertly doing bullcrap in the behind you. They need to send a letter saying we will defy you and we will not obey the mandate. We're gonna move on without you. End of discussion. That's what they got to do.
What's up, Shirley?
Hey, baby girl, how you doing?
I'm all right, chilling. Like a
How you doing, Shirley? Save yourself.
Save yourself, Jay. Save yourself. Save yourself. Let me weigh in on Larry Elder. I've been knowing Larry Elder for probably 20 years. Larry Elder is a radio DJ.
Did you donate? Did you donate to his campaign?
No, I did not. He didn't donate to mine. Save yourself. This is the whole message I've said since January. I still stand behind it. I never thought Larry was going to win. I didn't think anybody was going to win because I thought the race was going to be rigged, and the race to me is rigged. Look, you're dealing with a time and a climate in American history where these people don't abide by the federal constitution, and in California, they have rewritten the state constitution. We are ran by wealthy liberal families, the Pelosi's, the Gavin Newsoms. They run the peon people like Eric Garcetti, who will be leaving, the mayor of Los Angeles, who will be leaving and going to India so he can be the ambassador for India. We're in a global war against people in power. And I sometimes think as a people, we don't realize how bad this really is. It's not just about Black people or American people. This is a global...
no, it's everybody. It's humanity. It's humanity. But my question is this. Is it just the people, like every man for themselves? Or is there a concerted effort somewhere that's trying to defeat, maybe not the Q thing or whatever, but it doesn't look like they're getting much pushback.
No, I think people are just so consumed with themselves. The Bible says on the last day, men will be lovers of themselves. And if we look at TikTok and Instagram and Facebook as our news source, which we shouldn't, but people do. They wake up in the morning, we flip on those social media sites, and all we are consumed with is people who are consumed with themselves. So, and Google is slick. When you go in and you look through your news feed, it has the cookies and all these other things that follow you. So if I start looking up cotton candy, every morning I'm going to learn something new about cotton candy when I have to purposely stop and say, let me go look for news or newsworthy things.
Would you say that the mainstream news is more credible than social media news?
No, never. I would say that if we talk to people in our own circles, like yourself, like Jay and others who do their research, and Tariq and a couple others that have more credibility within our community, that is where your news source should come from. Let's go back to the 60s when Black people didn't have all this. They had the Black church. And within the church, I need some water. Within the Black church, what we found out is that they were able to communicate. Within the Black Panthers, we had our own paper. So we're kind of partly reverting backwards, and we're doing it through each other.
Well, I mean, at this point, I don't even know what progress is anymore anyway. When we say going backwards, because
thank you.
Like if we go back to
when I say going backwards, I'm talking about when we look at how we approach things. We have to go back to basic approach. We talk to kindred. We approach things with people with kindred spirits who understand and have the ideology of taking the time to do the research. You're not going to be listening from Joy Reid. Joy Reid's full of shit. She's Chris.
I don't even think about Joy Reid.
Right.
Never,
okay. That gives you an example. There's people that you go, I ain't gonna give you no credibility in that. Well, who did you say? No, but you said KIKI Green. I go, wait a minute. What did KIKI say? We know that KIKI has taken the time to structure herself. So let's go back to the 60s when the Black church used to be relevant, not like today. Irrelevant in the sense of communicating to the people. You need to be protected. You need to be careful. Same things when the white people would come and hunt Black people in their houses, and they would have these underground, places to hide other people's men so they wouldn't get caught. We're at a point now, we have to look for credible people in our own community. They don't have to, quote unquote, even be Black. They just need to be within our community that believe in the same ideology and philosophy that we do. That's where I look at sources that are more credible, or newsworthy, or valid in my life.
Okay, I feel you on that.
And also, KIKI, about that too is remember, and because then what was so significant about YouTube and Trump being elected was because when YouTube was just regular, people were, you'll have people like Shirley Yu, and you'll have like stay-at-home moms who just read books all day. We're able to debunk the bull crap and give logical reason why this news story is garbage with receipts and was actually true and valid. And so that's why when Hillary Clinton lost, they said it's fake news. And they used that as the beacon to get control of the market, because the thing is, the market was changing. The legacy media was done for. If it wasn't for a fake news thing in 2016, no one watches the news. But they restructured it. They found just like the Asian hate bill, they found 1-2 situations of Asian hate or 1-2 situations of fake news that no one was even listening to. It has like 2 subscribers and like 15 views, and they use it as a beacon to put those in power, the legacy media, back in power now on social media. And so now, so the thing is, like, all the people that I listen to now are the same people that I leaned to in 2016 that was telling the truth. You, Tariq, Jason Black, there's some new. Well, Kevin, the manager is new, so Kevin Samuels is new, but like, but like, literally, everyone who I listen to for news and like
them people do not shout me out, so they can all go to hell. Now,
the people that I listen to are the ones that were honest and truthful when 2016 broke it down and was real. Shirley to it as well. So but that's gonna fade away because now there's no, because you got to keep regurgitate with new people. So you got to stay on for 60 years, pretty much. So that's all I'm saying.
Well, that's why I'm raising funds so we can build the platform up. I'm trying to get it together. We got the website coming, and I need to be able to make better quality videos and post them directly to my website. Not for YouTube to just be pulling my videos down and harassing me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's just going to take a whole nother level of energy. But it's time to take it to that level. It has come to that where I can no longer be lazy.
I mean, if you look at
then also got to get your PhD too. Like you got to get that PhD done. Like Dr. Green is everything. That's honestly less work than editing videos, quite frankly.
Editing videos is a pain in the butt.
It is a pain in the ass. I'd rather write a dissertation.
I ain't lying. I agree with you on that one. You know, I think if anything, I wish I
don't pay attention to that. The video, it can take you 30, 45 minutes worth of speaking into the camera. But to really have everything high resolution and all that, hats off to everybody who has the time to do that, because it can take hours. And then once you get started and you have your vision of how you want things done and, bringing it to life, it is very, very, very tedious, time consuming. You know what I mean? With me having a toddler in the house, one way that I manage my energy is by not taking on tedious tasks that require a lot of concentration, because my child is not going to allow that. And so instead of me being frustrated and yelling at her, I just don't do it at all. I just don't do it at all. No. Because otherwise it would not be enjoyable, It's something I used to enjoy.
But I love your lives because it's interactive, and then you just pop that on, folks just listen to it.
Me too. So what we're going to start doing is we're going to keep doing them live like this, and then we're going to edit them after the fact. You know what I'm saying? Natasha said she's going to help me. So as much as she can help me cut these down and edit them, and whoever else want to help, that's what this channel actually needs. I've never even promoted this channel. I don't even share the videos on Facebook. That's actually because honestly, it brings in trolls and people who gonna report the channel and all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? A whole other element of drama that I don't need. People making them going back and forth and YouTube beefs and all of that. When they see you making too much noise, here these vultures come. They don't even have to have a problem with you. They'll just pick a random person and start shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's like, it's not an enjoyable energy. So what I would prefer to do is take this.
I do have to call you out because you said Lil Nas X wasn't pregnant, and I was offended by that. That's male phobic. So yeah. So I'm just gonna put it out there.
I'm glad you brought him up. That's a perfect segue to the next topic, which is the VMAs. And Shirley, you're a music fan, of course. Like, did you see what Beyonce's protege, Chloe Bailey, did you see what she did at the VMAs?
No, I missed it. What happened?
Well, this young lady twerked her tampon out.
Oh, no.
To the point where, to the string.
That is hilarious.
You lying, Kiki. Come on now.
I'm not lying.
Are you serious? Come on, Kiki. That's too much. Let me look this up. Are you serious?
I was trying to think of another word. This is the best word I had. That's it. Her feminine hygiene product. The string was hanging out the back of the damn garment. This girl had twerked it out.
I don't know.
That's how much.
I have a question for you. Black people. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say your generation because I'm older than you. Black people of your generation, and Beyonce almost 45. They're lying. She's probably about 43 years old.
Right. Beyonce is Gen X. Even if she's telling the truth, Beyonce is still she is not a millennial. Beyonce is Gen X, and this Chloe Bailey girl, this is Gen Z. So millennials would like to say our name is Bennett, and we is not even.
Okay, that's your fault.
We ain't got nothing to do with this.
Okay, but your generations follow that kind of stuff. The challenge that I have right now is that Black people, when it comes to the men and the women, we are prostituted from every aspect. All the Black men are gay, or they're fairy godmothers, Are they wearing nails and promoting phones? Are they wearing ear plugs with lipstick and lip gloss? And either the women are a whole twerking. On every award show, you see black women disgraced. Every award show, including the Grammys, where you had Stallion Girl with what was it, Cardi B. I mean, it's just enough for me. I'm just like, where are the normal people in this world? Why can't we just do something normal and wholesome? And even if you're gonna be kind of edgy.
Well, the thing is,
an agenda.
They don't do this with white people. They don't do this with Asians. They don't do this with Mexicans. They don't do. Where are the gays and the Jews? Where are the gays in the Jewish community? Where are the gays in the Armenian community? Where are the gays in the Latino community? Why do you always have to promote a black gay man on every Netflix show, every Amazon show, and then there's no pushback? No pushback from the heterosexual. Come on now, I'm tired.
Well, no, there is pushback, but they call them transphobic, homophobic, and then they say, shut up or we'll take your job from you. And so this is the problem. Remember, this is all what happened this is the significance of how horrible Bill Clinton was as the president. And this is why when my mom tries to talk, when we talk about my mom, she talks about Bill Clinton, and she talks about how we did as a family. Because under the Clinton years, yeah, our family did very, very well. But the thing is, it was all, what's it called? A bomb that was a timer. It was a bomb that was timing off. So once he left, that's when it just blew up. It was all fake stuff. And this is one of the cases. The 1996 Telecommunications Act destroyed Black folks in media. And we're seeing the repercussions of this. Because remember, before 1996, think about all the artists. You had SWV, you had Escape, you had Total. You had like 10 great artists. So
Beyonce killed him. Beyonce.
Well, no, Destiny's Child. But Destiny's Child came out in 98, 99 time frame. But even before 96, there was lots of artists. But then and also hip hop was about against the establishment corporate structure.
Murdered them all with their blonde hair and twerking all the way, because those artists were not crossover artists. Beyonce and Usher are the ones who were the crossover artists. They started doing world music. Then Mary J. Blige started singing with Bono and doing weird shit. And it was just a point where the elite R&B people left R&B and went to pop music.
And then Justin Timberlake claiming he knows R&B. There is no R&B now. Give me
He does. How can you do something like that? Justin Timberlake knows his music.
Well, of course he knows R&B because Timberland and Missy Elliott taught him.
Right.
And that's what problem. They gave.
He done nothing but just like the way I feel like Justin Bieber's baby Usher. Just because we cannot deny our vanilla brothers and sisters when they have talent.
But let me make this point really quickly. Keep in mind the distribution then went from the entrepreneurial musician like P. Diddy, Jay-Z, and what's his name? So Def, Jermaine Dupri, and it went to this corporate structure because then they were able to buy all this stuff.
Scooter Braun used to work for Jermaine Dupri, and this is the guy who ran off with Taylor Swift's entire fucking catalog. You know what I'm saying?
Hello.
So at this point,
I know. I mean, you're telling the preacher the truth. That girl lost all her money, and she's screwed now.
Hey, look. There's a lot of different elements of this game now that have transcended even race to the point where we can't look. Black artists can no longer say we're at the bottom of the barrel. We never had opportunities in music. Our Black music has gone unrecognized. These Black artists have not, like a lot of that K-pop stuff you're hearing right now. A lot of your favorite producers, that's where they've been. They've been producing for K-pop, and that's why they sound like 90s boy bands. Because this is where your favorite producers have been. You know what I mean? So they might not be producing Black people, but they have made a lot of kings, Black and white and otherwise. And where you'll be looking at Scooter Braun and be like, oh, the white man. Whoa, you wouldn't be looking at that white man.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the corporate structure took over hip hop and R&B in the 96. in 96, and they said, oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to make that point. I just wanted to let you know.
And so what they did was they said, well, we're not going to distribute this kind of music. Like Onyx, that groups like Onyx went away, Digital Planets went away, Alcoholics went away. Like all these great groups went away, or they had to change because they remember hip hop and R&B was against the police, corporate structure, bull crap, all that stuff. Next thing you know, it was bitches and hoes and all this kind of stuff.
Video killed the radio star. So then once it became MTV and then it became BET, and then BET decided who had the charting songs. In the same way that TikTok does right now. In the same way if you go viral on TikTok, that's it. Was the same way if BET played your shit every day, it was going to be getting played on the radio, and that was going to be it. And then the radio started only playing what was being decided on by fucking Viacom, literally the empire of evil. And that's what the employees call it. Okay? So they basically they erased it, but we watched them erase it. And this is the reason why the artists like Snoop Dogg and people who have been who you know, Ice Cube, Family Man and all, Ice-T, the people who survived and throughout that era, a vast majority of them were part of the fucking problem at the time. And we're used to push other people out. And this is why LL Cool J is so important and valuable, because he's one of the artists that made sure to maintain his integrity. Unlike people like Too Short, who admit that he started making nasty music because this is what they literally told him that they wanted him to do. You know what I mean? So to hear those very same artists who pushed out Diggable Planets come back now and be the main ones, want to be Martin Luther King and had a fucking dream on the hill, that's why I don't be want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Rubber Band Man. The Rubber Band Man don't get, you know what I mean? Because what the conversation was at that time when P.I. was getting on was about drugs in the Black community. And, you know, I'm the same shit we're talking about now, but the problem was mainly drugs.
You know what, Kiki? The thing is, I met Too Short, and he told, I had a quick picture with him because I used to work, I used to work for Enterprise. I'm sorry. Well, anyway, it's out there now. But he worked for Enterprise. And so he came to the Burbank Airport, and I was looking at him with the I was like, wait a minute, this is not too fucking short, right? He's like, yeah, I'm too short. I was like, what? And so he was like sitting there chopping it up, whatever. And there was a dent on the side of the car. I had the person come out there and check and see if it was going to be, we're going to charge him. So he was just like, yeah, man. So I was like, dude, your music. I was like, are you really like that? Do you really have those girls? He's like, man, hell no. That's too much maintenance. He told me he only has one girl at a time. When she trips, he gets another one. I'm like, all that music you did, and you a family man?
Because what he said was, I got 16 hoes, sucking 10 toes.
Yeah. He said, man, I'm a family man. He's like, I only want to be with one girl at a time. That's it. I'm like, out of all that we made millions of dollars. Think that you had like 35,000 women on tap. You know, it's crazy. It just shows how fake they are.
So Shirley mentions that they have the gay men, but what about women too? Now, Normani got on stage and then pulled Tiana Taylor out in she rolled her out on stage in the contraption Janet Jackson used to use at the end of her concert, because she climbed on top of a man and hung on him, gyrate on. Except Normani brings out Tiana Taylor. Do you even know who Normani is?
Unfortunately, I do now, because I saw the little video with the tampon thing.
No, that's Chloe. That's Beyonce's protege. Okay, now Normani was in a group called Fifth Harmony, and these girls.
I'm still scarred.
Armani's off the chain. They always compare Armani to Beyonce. I'm not trying to scoot backwards.
Right.
I'm still looking at Taylor Swift's loss. She lost $300 million. Then he went and sold it for $450 million. Artists are stupid. All them artists you mentioned now.
She said that she had the money to buy it, and they just wouldn't sell it to her, and that she's going to re-record all that shit over again.
I agree with you. She had the money, and he didn't sell it to her. Why did you relinquish your power to this man?
But she was, 15, 16 years old when she started? So her parents.
You relinquished your power to this man.
Well, no,
she
but her
wasn't
parents
even,
though.
yeah, her parents. She was a child.
Look, this
But
is
then also, Kiki, you talked about that, how they sell their kids at a young age.
And it could have just been ignorance or whatever, but
if you're in the music industry and you look at history, look at Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was a good friend with Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney told Michael Jackson, the Beatle portfolio is up for sale. Like he was kind of bragging to the nigga. The nigga called his attorneys and said, yo, I want that portfolio. Me and Sony can work together. Guess who does not own their rights? Paul McCartney. Michael Jackson owns the Beatles. Now, part of that time has transpired, and Sony, I think, owns half, and the other half stayed with the estate. But I'm just saying, if you are getting to the music business, this is nothing new. This is not a new story. This is us not planning as Black people to prepare ourselves for these folks to rip us off. That's all I'm saying.
Taylor Swift ain't black. That's what
I said music industry.
Taylor Swift on her own. Look, this is why they like to go out to the country or to some obscure part of the United States, and they find somebody who has no idea, that's trying to get out of their small town, that's really hungry, and they offer them the world, and then they completely take advantage of them. And here's the thing, they never have any idea what's really going to work and what isn't. And Taylor Swift had this deer and headlight look to her for the first 4 years that she was out. And I think that's what people really related to the most, is that she looked terrified and she looked like a child who just so happened to. She's a child, and she represents something very innocent.
And another platform that Kanye gave her platform when he up there snatched that damn mic. Probably nobody was paying attention to her until he got up there and brought recognition.
Taylor Swift was already a pretty big artist. She wasn't a crossover to make it the humiliation ritual. To make it to the audience.
He took it to another level. Let's say like that. He took it to another level for her. Unnecessarily.
Yeah, it's like with the Lil Baby situation. So all the rap fans, the Shade Room audience, they all know who the Baby is. I'm sorry, not Lil Baby, the Baby. But then for him to go out and make some statements that they claim are homophobic, whatever, that just gives them an excuse to now talk about the Baby on the news and different podcasts that normally would discuss hip hop. Now he's in the news, and that makes him known to a wider audience. So, I mean, in that way, Kanye certainly did her a favor, for sure. What are the changes as a girl? What are the changes?
Well, now I know why my parents didn't want me to. It's interesting that I have these conversations with you, Kiki, especially since you have a very direct, in-the-face experience on how the music industry really works. Not just the stuff that we see in the news, but you were in those meetings on how they gonna screw people over and what you need to do at your level to help screw this person over. You know what I mean? So now that I'm listening to you, I now know why my mom. Because I did I was in a movie with I was an extra in a movie with Richard Gere. It was called Spy Game, and then but as a kid, I was I did one commercial, and then everyone was like, "Oh my God!" They wanted me to be the black kid in every commercial. So I did 7 or 8 commercials.
You did.
But here's the thing: the first 2 commercials, my parents was happy because of the checks was $5,000 a piece. It was 19 in the 80s, early 80s. But then number 4, number 5, I got invited to this kid's birthday party, and my mom came with me, and I was over there hanging out with the kids or whatever, and my mom was I could tell the conversation was very prickly. And then my mom put her hand up, and I was like, oh shit, mom's about to go fuck. I was like, Mom, what's going on? She's like, come on, son, let's go. And I left. So I did a couple other commercials after that, and then my mom was just like, you know what, we're gonna focus on something else. You ain't gonna do no more commercials. And then I'm listening to you about the whole pedophile situation, my mom was the only mom who was there. It was grown men and a whole bunch of little boys and girls. And so the thing is now I'm listening to you, and now I'm seeing my mom was damn, my mom was. Now I look back, my mom was a bomb. I'm like, God damn, I'm lucky. I'm a lucky ass Negro. That's all I'm saying. My mom and dad, I'm a lucky Negro.
Because a lot of people would just drop their kids off. And they might even think that they're safe because there's so many people around.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they're thinking, how can it, whatever that. I don't even feel like going there because, quite frankly, you know, you don't want to accuse the parents, but at the same time, their greed is being exploited. And once it's already happened, it's like you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, and you don't want to, you know, rub it in.
But the thing is, right, I think that's why, and the reason why I brought that up is because last night we had a conversation about the gymnastics thing with Michigan State. And after I got the phone with you, I was like, wait a minute, hold on, let me just go in my little brain with some stuff. And I remember that very vivid situation. And my mom never talked about it. She said, you ain't doing commercials no more. My mom was very authoritative. My mom and dad are. They're like, son, you ain't doing no more commercials. Do something else. Figure it out. And that was the end of it because you don't talk back. But then now I'm looking back, I'm like, some mess was going on. My mom peeped game. She snatched my black ass at the damn party. And she was the only mama there. There's a whole bunch of grown people. It was grown men. And it was like little boys and some little girls that were there. It was just whack. Like, it was inappropriate, you know? And I didn't feel it. I was a kid like, oh, yay, the twins, a big old pool. We're in La Jolla Shores. Wow. You know, because La Jolla Shores where the rich folks live. We're in La Jolla Shores. Wow. And my mom was like,
children.
My mom was like, get your ass in the damn car. You ain't doing no more commercials. Let's go.
And, you know, it's that type of behavior. And the people who have participated in that, or who have been benefiting from the materials and all, you know, the literature, you know what I mean, of the children variety, that type of shit, that's who is supposed to be conducting business and running America. And instead they screwing up. So it's to the point where, and there's no discipline. What do you think about that, Shirley? I mean, what do you think about how our leadership has got, no. This is what I really want to ask you. Who your president think he's talking to?
My president. You better correct your mouth. Correct your mouth. Your president, Negro. Let me help you out. Shit. Don't get me cursing because I know you got that little baby in that room.
Everybody I have said that to has cussed me out. I'm taking a poll.
Please.
I'm trying to find his 80 million voters. One of y'all got to be lying. Somebody voted for this man.
Did you see that video of that black man at the gas station cursing all the black people out? I know y'all voted for this man. What are you? Y'all voted for this man? Oh, that
man ain't crazy.
Okay, go ahead. Ask the question. I'm sorry, I pivoted.
Okay, the question was, first of all, can you just speak to why it is that Joe Biden, for the people in the cheap seats who are not paying attention, why does Joe Biden feel like he could come out here and tell us that his patience is running thin with us niggas? He said, you niggas. I'm sick of you niggas. Joe Biden got on TV and said, I'm sick of you niggas. And you better go get vaccinated. Matter of fact,
first of all,
I'm gonna call your boss right there and tell him to whip your ass and shake.
First of all, I'm black. I'm not a nigga. So he's speaking to his own people. So I really cannot relate to him or Cortez, who's out there wearing white dresses at the Met Gala. And I still don't understand how that Latino bitch is in office and got a seat when they gave it to Kiki Green. But you know, I told you this is bigger than us. What'd you say? What'd you say?
I don't want to be mad.
This is bigger than us. We crack jokes. We look at it serious. We're not all over the place. It's just so much going all over the place. And because of that, all I can tell you is get inner self, get inner healing, understand where you need to be, where your family needs to be, and those who are kindred spirits. Because this administration is about absolute power. That's what we're dealing with. This administration is not about. I mishear that
because I saw his mouth move, and what I heard was, "I'm sick of you niggas." I felt like that's what he was.
Oh my God!
Did I read that?
I plead a fifth. I don't know what he was saying. Once he say nigga, the niggas are gonna say we gave him a card. That's what's gonna happen. He gonna say nigga one day.
He's already said it before.
And they gonna
he said it before.
You know, Joyce Reed's gonna give him a card. She you know, people just give the cards away. Y'all niggas give everything away anyway. So this is a man who can't walk straight.
Like the taboo says, Everyday Life taboo says, I would have rather he would have just said that.
Well, he probably did. He probably said a lot of things. Him and Nancy Pelosi. You know, these people don't care about black people. Look at what's going on in California, and they talking about he got more votes this last election, meaning Gavin Newsom, got more votes than he did when he first ran. That's some bullshit.
I bet he did.
I said, I sure.
I bet he did. Turn the Valley double this time. We know they cheating. They know they cheating. But who can enforce it? Who's running this country? Can you answer that? Do you know the answer to that, Shirley?
The Illuminati.
They have all the answers for you. The
Illuminati's running this country, and they're shooting nanos in your body when you get the COVID shot.
Okay, so who's gonna stop them? Captain Planet? Anybody?
You know, I'm joking on that, on those two answers. For those who know, I'm joking on that. I don't know. I'm waiting for the people in the woods to come out. Now I'm not joking. Let's get back to serious answers. There's people in the woods. I always talk in metaphors. If you don't get it, I ain't gonna try to be straight because too many people watch all of us. And we always have a lot of people watching all of us. I always talk about the Eye of Sauron. If you don't know the Eye of Sauron, then you don't know the Lord of the Rings, then you might need to take about 4 hours of your life and sit down and watch it.
Is he gonna say this in the Illuminati?
No. This is all about money. This is money. This is money. This is power. This is a global transition where these people are taking advantage of people. And until you have a revolutionary war, which could be a class war, a civil war, a global war.
I don't have to wait for that. What am I supposed to wear to a war? Like, nobody has time for that.
No, you get your bunkers.
Somebody's supposed to save us all these superhero movies. Nobody's got no master plan.
Well, you know, you need to listen to that little happy boy that said, save your life, save your wife. Remember he did that YouTube video? He said, save your life, save your wife, save your family. And they made a music video out of it. You got to save yourself.
Cool. Hide your kids. Hide your kids.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, you know, his mother just passed away last week.
Shout out to him. You know, what is your plan? You know, how much land do you own? Do you believe in the right to bear arms? Do you have a clear understanding of your constitutional, your state, your city rights? If you don't have basics in your life, we can joke and throw all kind of elements or concepts or hypothetics on the table because that's what we're doing here. And we all have freedom of speech, and that's what we're doing here. But you do need to have a plan of action for yourself and your kindred spirit. When I say kindred spirit, I mean finding people that are like you, that think like you, that add value to the table to you, that can say, hey, I heard about this. But if you got other people that just talking bullshit and all y'all doing is watching folks twerk and gay men and black niggas with lip gloss, you in trouble. Oh, big bubble lip niggas out there with them damn lip gloss, sucking dicks all day.
You sound like your president. You sure you didn't vote for that man?
I did not vote for the man. I do not eat green eggs and ham. I do not eat.
I want all you lipstick wearing niggas to go out there and get vaccinated.
You niggas go first. You get to go first in the line. You go first in the line. You niggas go first. Niggas first.
Y'all done work my nerve. Y'all done work.
I got you in privatized prisons. I can do more to you. So when you go, come out there. And then when you go back to jail, you revert to a slave anyway. We've never changed that law. There's a lot going on in the world.
Agreed.
These
niggas in chat. Hey, yo, Joe Biden think he Candy from the Django. Okay. That's, I think, who he going for.
Oh, you need to stop. That's hilarious. That is hilarious.
That's it right there, actually.
That's the answer.
And Congressman Clyburn is I'm telling you, these folks is crazy. Mr. Candy is Joe Biden. He is. And he's surrounded by the same, sorry, Kiki, I gotta call out black women, these bedwench brigades of protection, like Sheila Jackson, Maxine Waters, these demon bedwenches. It is always a small group. See, this is what we don't talk about black society. See, like a male sellout trader coon, they get dealt with. They don't really have power like that. But these covert Maxine Waters, Sheila Jackson demons, They be sneaking in and causing drama. It's just ridiculous. And they use this concept of oh yeah, black women are the cornerstone of the Democratic Party. Black women are the cornerstone of the Democratic Party. And it's so, and this is what we don't talk about, even though Willie Lynch wrote a letter about this. He wrote a letter saying, if you want to destroy the black community, you must empower the black woman. And they talk about the kind of woman, just like these Maxine Waters women, like these damn Sheila Jackson women, who are just treasonous. And it's vile. And then women like you get overshadowed because when you go after them, Kiki, they go get daddy. So then it's like the white supremacist feminist, then it's the damn daddy, and then you got Maxine Waters. So it's like a tripod of power coming at you. Meanwhile, you just being real. I can't with these people. And they all voted for these Biden, what's it called? Tariq calls them Biden sexuals.
Bisexual. They're bisexuals. Ooh.
No, Biden sexual.
Biden.
But where? I don't see anybody admitting to voting for Joe Biden, and we are actively looking for them. So please, I will put the link below if you voted for Joe Biden, or
don't do that, because remember what happened last time? That idiot that called in, the little it that called in, the little tranny it.
We don't even know if he was transgender or not. I think he was been dead. He was calling in to defend Beyonce, but I was more so looking for, the women to tell me like why. Well, I assumed based on the comments that it was a woman I was talking to. That was my mistake. But I really wanted women to tell me like, what did we learn from this fraud? Because I'm trying to figure out how you take a couple girls who have a decent upbringing and you turn them into whores to the point where they're twerking their tampon out on stage. And she just needs to be really called to the carpet for that shit. If you're going to go out here and say, I'm mentoring them and put your name out there as, you want us to buy into them off of the strength of your name, then you should have to come out here and explain to us what the fuck this is.
Okay, so I got a question. How far will this Nicki Minaj story go, or will Nicki shut herself down?
I think, it's two things going on here. Nicki Minaj at this point is like Kanye in a realm where she's uncancelable because, first of all, she has in her own several streams of income. Her numbers and everything, her fan base for her music is indestructible. She's always going to have fans. At the same time, the establishment has fucked with her for no reason. So I see her being smart enough to use this as an opportunity, because the tweet was so fucking silly that it's not something she attacked. Like she was really taking it seriously, right? I think she knew that it would get some type of backlash. I don't think she knew how bad it was going to be. But she knows that she can play these people to get her name back in the cycle before she drops some new music or does whatever the next thing it is she's going to do. And she keeps her name moving. At the same time, if she hasn't been paying attention to Trump and how that whole thing went with us content creators and censorship, because liberals have been shielded. As long as you've been going along with the narrative, and if you've got a rainbow flag in your rearview mirror, that's gonna your bumper sticker, whatever, that's gonna help to shield you from dealing with some of the censorship. And so I don't know if she's aware of how serious they are about deplatforming people and absolutely ruining them, because her demographic is the exact demographic of people that they don't want thinking and asking questions at all, that they don't want to be suspicious, because these are the people that they intend to be able to inoculate every fucking 6 months without question. And Nicki Minaj at some point, I think makes decisions, seems like she's trying to reconcile with the parts of her image that has been used to further the agenda and be a part of the distraction. She did an interview once where she was talking about how like she didn't create the name Nicki Minaj. That wasn't her idea. That was Fendi, the guy who was managing her at the time. That was his idea, and she thought it was too sexual. And he told her this is the way to go. And you know, a lot of decisions about her body and her and even being overtly sexual, the machine around her was always wanting her to do that. But the backlash that came along with it was always all hers. Or when a child, you know, when she sees kids overly sexualized or repeating some of her lyrics and that type of shit, she has exhibited having a conscience. So I think that her enemy is our enemy type of thing. And at the very least, she knows that she can use them to get some attention for her project, as well as being a thorn in their ass for fucking with her. So they've already given her the bad publicity. They've already talked about her husband. They've already called her husband, you know, put his business out on the street. You know, they've already examined her body. They've already clocked her plastic. So everything Nicki Minaj has done has been under a microscope all this time. There's nothing more that they can take from her. So she can afford to be obnoxious when she wants to. But when she gets her ass in front of Fauci, Fauci's intention is to convert her into a salesman. And if she does not walk away from that kissing his ass, they are never gonna fucking let off of her. She thought she had
Not only. Yep. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kiki. I'm sorry.
Well, you see Wendy Williams, they didn't carted her off to the crazy house and said she had a breakthrough case. And I'm trying to figure out how Wendy Williams got a breakthrough case and she never got vaccinated.
They are going, if she does not been, what they're going to do now is what they did to Nick Cannon. They need her to be the head on her back.
Oh, with the shit.
Yeah. When he told the truth.
This is the same thing though. Because now that life is getting real, it's no longer enough to be the baddest bitch in the room physically. You now need to be smart. You have read some fucking books, and now bitches want to pretend like they've been fucking paying attention. So good luck. I want to see this shit because see, Fauci can't see me, boo. You feel me? But I'm not.
Okay, that's what pisses me off, though. And that's what pisses me off. They never go see someone who is about that life. Like that's
good. That's how you know that they know that I know that they know, and they know that I know what the fuck is up.
And the fact that Nicki Minaj, all she did was tell something that happened in her life. You can't now. It wasn't now. The whole story's been verified. Even the only thing that Dr. Sanjay Gupta, who was also not credible, just said, "Oh well, there's no evidence that," and that's what they always say. There's no evidence that vaccine caused that. But Nicki Minaj just said something that happened in her life. And all this believe all women, believe black women, black girl magic. And guess what? She says this, and then they want to take her down.
Well, we just listened to the doctors. We just played clips from a couple doctors, and this is available on the FDA's YouTube channel from the open public hearing session that they had earlier today, where they said that they can't refute anybody's fucking claims because they don't know what the hell going on. But what they do know is that this thing has to kill 2 people in order to save 1. Did he just say that?
Yep.
Okay. So, if Nikki, it's a war going on. So if you're playing, you are going to be collateral damage and casualty. Right. If you gonna treat this shit like it's fucking war and know that you're gonna need lawyers and you need to amp your security up because ain't nobody out here murking niggas more right now than all the culprits. They already got 1 million bodies on them. What the fuck is they don't care? They don't care. So, you know, it's crazy. It's like, if I could advise her, I would tell her, do not go talk to Dr. Fauci. Because this your meeting, it's a mafia meeting. It's one of those, you need insurance, right? Like, no, I don't need insurance. We ain't had no break-in. You better have a fucking break-in. They're going to make your life, Cardi B and them, they finna make this girl's life a living fucking hell if she does not come out of there sounding like she works for Pfizer. She has to leave this interview not having no more questions for Dr. Fauci, or else they are going to make it a point.
Or she has to develop.
But the thing is, what pisses me off is that you can never stop having questions. The thing is that there's not enough evidence to prove or disprove the fact that Jim Jones really worked.
But here's the problem. You have to go to somebody like that, and you have to ask the right questions when you go to meet the wizard. You can't go to the wizard repeating shit from CNN because they have a standardized answer for that, and you must accept. You will take your YouTube video down because you disagreed with them. So how you beat these assholes like this is with questions.
Look, all I say is
this is the game. This is like
she
Jeopardy.
needs allies. She needs allies. She needs to find people who are not going to be on the other side, but in her court. And that's controversial because the allies that they're going to tie her to is Trump. And that's pure enemy.
Going against vaccines, period, is a career killing fucking fight to take up, you know? And it just is what it is. And so unless she is trying to really be on some Harriet Tubman to freedom, homegirl should just leave this the fuck alone because they are never, this is the equivalent to when Muhammad Ali said he wasn't going to fucking Vietnam. You better have to change your name. That's how much they gonna fuck with you.
And again, for the audience that's watching, I think people have to fully understand what happened on January 6th changed a lot of the game for a lot of people because you were able to see how they predated and went after a lot of people, and people are still in jail because of January 6th. No one talked about Antifa. No one talked about the black people, not black people, people dressed in black that were in the front beating the windows, and they were not even with the Trump people. And then there's conservatives who have videos showing that evidence and that evidence getting tossed out. And then people like Kiki and me and others who have voices on the table, on the platform, that we have to use our voices smart now. Because why do we put all this energy out just to be taken down like Afro-Synergy News and T West? When we're trying to provide means.
Ooh, that was horrible. That still hurts.
And means and information to save our own
people. Like who? Take it down like who?
Afro-Synergy News. T West.
Yeah, T West.
Yeah, T West is out. He's no longer on YouTube.
This is what I knew was gonna happen too, which is one of the reasons why I'm like, it's just not even worth the freaking energy.
Right, I agree with you. People don't get it. They don't get it. People come to me all the time saying, "Shirley, you're not doing videos, you're not doing this." I say, you know what? I'm gonna tell you what I said at the beginning of the year. People need to save themselves. You need to have a plan of action for your family. I'm not gonna get up here and do all this research, all this information, put really strong content out there just for you to suppress my numbers or change my numbers. I've literally watched a YouTube video where they played and
argue with the other black people on YouTube because they have this scarcity mindset that there's not enough people to watch their video. I mean, it's absolutely absurd.
So unless I get out there and talk like Tisha K or Lovely T or somebody else, the bullshit madness, where all we do is
and they dealing with bullshit too.
And they're dealing with it too, because I know those women. And they are dealing with it too. They want to put us all in boxes. Y'all need to keep talking about each other or stay in the gossip column. Don't talk about wealth and opportunity. Don't talk about black family. Don't talk about heterosexual love. Don't talk about good black men and good black women. You know, don't talk about.
Wendy Williams has wanted to break out of that for a very long time. She's tried to get in the political realm just a little bit, and it's like the audience is the one from trying to powers that be definitely don't want that.
No.
Okay, so we have been on here for 2.5 hours, and the intention was definitely to keep it under 3. But I want to thank both of you guys. We have one more topic. I don't know if you guys are interested. We wanted to talk about the Housewives of Atlanta really quick. I don't know if either of you watch that show or care, but if not.
I watch Ready to Love, Married at First Sight, which is kind of cuckoo right now. I watch more of the bloggers than anything on that show.
Okay. Okay.
And put a ring on it because it was over.
And put a ring on it. Oh, Covert Radio's in here. What's up, Covert Radio? Deshaun Jackson, public humiliation, break him down, Kyle Todd gets the ring. Exactly. And that's exactly what will happen to Nicki Minaj. There's some really strange things going on with this Housewife franchise. So, you've got Erica Giardi, the situation with her and her husband where he won millions of dollars in settlements for clients, but they never got the money, and he invested it, and it never made it the way to them.
Really?
And then you've got in Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, one of the castmates she was like arrested. Her and her husband got indicted for some type of scandal having to do with telecommunications, some call center fraud scandals. Fucking scandal everywhere. And then Real Housewives of Atlanta, apparently Portia and Cynthia might not return, which I think Cynthia is boring as shit and she should have been gone a long time ago. So I'm glad she's married. I hope she, boring in a good way, and goes and lives her life. But word from the curb is that Portia's getting her own show with like Drew Sidora or something like that, and her new African husband, and they're going to play that whole thing out. I don't think anybody really cares, but I would like to see Phaedra come back to that. I really would. What was I going to say about Beverly Hills? Let me tell you what's getting on my nerves about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I like Garcelle, okay? But what I don't like about what she's doing on this show is she wants to do the everybody's leaving me out because I'm black thing. I don't understand what's going on. All these white, and she's her, and then there's a new cast member too that's Asian who said some shit to the effect. She called Sutton, well, you're one of those people who don't see color. And it's like, I purposely watch The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills so I could live vicariously through these rich white women who don't have any problems. Okay? If I want to see poor colored people problems, I don't need to turn the fucking TV on for that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Garcelle needs to get with the program. Her and Sutton have a common enemy, and that is Erica. Okay? They don't like Erica. They believe that she's full of shit and she's lying. And quite frankly, I've liked Erica Giardi all this time, but now that bitch is poor, she's got to go. Because once again, I'm not watching this show to see poor people, Erica. So I feel like instead of Garcelle trying to make this about race and shit to get ratings, because it's depressing me, I have to watch Atlanta for that. Godzilla? Okay, here it comes. But what I would like to see Garcelle do is team up with Sutton and get Erica the hell up out of there. And Dorit is already on the fence. Okay, because she's tired of being gaslit by Erica too. And Dorit wants to be the richest bitch around anyway. She's kind of enjoying this shit. And once Dorit teams up with them, then here comes Kim's fake ass. She's coming. Paris Hilton's auntie. What's her name? Kyle Richards. Yeah, Kyle Richards' fake ass will join the coup. And after that is over with, Kathy doesn't give a shit. So let this be Erica Giardi's last season. Well, you know what I mean? Y'all can use her for ratings so y'all get something out of it. But then that hoe's gotta go. She's like mopping up her apartment, complaining about her bills. I don't watch that show for this foolishness. What's up, Wesley Curry? Yeah, this is live. The Asian girl is annoying as fuck. She is going on. Not Phaedra? No, who doesn't like Phaedra? Why don't you like Phaedra? Can you call in and tell us what's going on? What is your problem with Phaedra? We like to wind down the show by having less serious conversations, so I'm about to... what were you saying?
No, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say Love and Hip Hop. I was watching Love and Hip Hop Miami, and it's just this whole thing is I just can't watch any of it anymore. It's just utterly ridiculous. The Miami version is supposed to be like a combination of I guess the immigrant rappers, because you got everyone who's non-foundational black down there, and then you got Amada who's in love with somebody in Dominican Republic, but then her mom is like, come back. And I'm just like, this, I mean, it's just you see the evilness. Like this woman, Amada, she's not rich, but she made enough money to where she can live comfortably and take care of her mom. She supports her dad, who, after seeing the mom, I can see why he left the house. And then she finds love herself in Dominican Republic. She got money in real estate there. And her mom's trying to sabotage this love with the dude who got Dominican Republic money. He's a realtor or whatever, and he does real estate investing. So he got Dominican Republic money. He ain't got LA money. He ain't got Miami money, but he got money to where he's high value in his country. And then guess who sabotages it? The freaking mama. Because she wants her to be miserable just like she is. And I'm seeing this play out, and then it's just like, you know what, this is just burnt. And then you see
the first one, you talking about Amada, right? She liked the first boyfriend, no, the one that didn't have no job with the muscles.
No, she didn't really like him that much. She didn't like him that much. She wants her to just make money and support her. And that's the problem that some of these bitter women have, is they just want to sit there and just make their children live vicariously through their children. And I'm always telling her, like, I made enough money for you. You live in the house. My money's good. I'm doing investing down here. I got a man who wants to love me and marry me. I don't want to have kids. I want to settle down for a little bit, take a break. And then it's just like, no, you cannot take a break. You cannot have kids. You got to keep going out there and singing this thing. I'm like, oh, Lord Jesus. Let me tell you something. Music, let me tell you something. I wouldn't have known who Amada Negro was unless it was Love and Hip Hop. I'm sorry. Do you know, has anyone in the chat bought an album or bought a single on iTunes of Amada Negra? That's all I'm asking.
Did anybody know about her before the show was on? Before she was on the show? That's the question. Look, this is all about Andy Cohen making his coins, exploiting first black women. Then he says, oh, I can exploit now white women. And because he wants to be a woman. And by the way, shout out to Nene Leakes. Shout out to Nene Leakes, who lost her husband, Greg. May he rest in peace. Look, these people are about giving you a show. Is it reality, or is it a reality show? It's a reality show. I'd rather watch Put a Ring on It. I'd rather watch Ready to Love's getting ready to release his new season. See all these good-looking black men who aren't super alpha, but they're still fun to watch because they're straight, allegedly.
Look at that.
Yum. My mouth is
yeah, Love and Hip Hop. That's Mona Scott and them over there on VH1. But it's all pretty much.
Can't you watch some pretty black men? Why don't y'all talk about the good-looking, sexy brother that makes you want to drool and your mouth just kind of gets salivated in so many ways?
Well, the only man I'm drooling over in here is my husband.
I know, but instead of watching these cackling women that, I'm going to marry an African. Yeah,
well, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you can watch Kevin Samuels. He be giving game to everybody.
Ain't nobody got
time.
I'm trolling y'all now. I'm trolling y'all with that comment. I'm trolling y'all.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
The thing is that Shirley, you were talking about something very clear earlier, how every time you see black folks on TV, it's always in some comedic week. They're either with the white girl, with the Latina, they're either with the trans, or they're freaking being gay. And it's a war. And I didn't understand it until the changes of imagery, because you remember in the 90s, we had shows, like we had realistic shows where you had normalcy. And then it just all went away. And I just see that that this is just another way of us making us confused about ourselves. Like, I don't even understand how Lil Nas X would never make it in the old school rap game. Like, before you were a rapper, you made it mainstream, but you had to be like Ludacris. You had to go to do battles. You had to go to shows. You had to sell your mixtape. You had to put in work. Now they just pick somebody out the crowd and just put them plaster them all over the place. And so the thing is, the reason why we don't see, positive images of especially black men, heterosexual black men, is because of the fact that we don't control our image.
But it's not just black men, that's just black people, period. And because we don't control our image, because we don't speak out of the bad image that is controlled.
Yeah, because they say you're transphobic or you're homophobic or you're anti-women, anti-this. And then now, and I'm also saying one thing I'm also seeing now is like the black woman is no longer like a Kiki or a you. It's now like some mulatto chick, or she's like black and Asian, or she's like black and Chamoran or some shit. It's never Shamaka, Lakeisha, and Sandra.
She's not black. She's from India. She's the woman from India.
Yeah.
All the India.
Yeah.
Or she is from England and they put an American accent on. So that black actors and actresses are being replaced by the people from England. Again, we have lost our voice and our position. And I don't know what you can do but save yourself.
And keep in mind, there's only two places where black folks fought to get put on TV, and it's us and Brazil. And as a matter of fact, the only people who can say anything to us negatively are Brazilian blacks. They have it far worse than we do. Even though it's bad here in Brazil, it is just wow. But the thing is that in England and in Africa, they didn't fight for their image. They just like you go to England, like I lived in England for 2 years. You just don't see black folks on TV. They're just not there. There's no mulatto. There's no hat. There's no token. It's just all white all day, literally. And so that's why the actors come over here because of the fact that there's just no opportunities in England. So they come and take our spot instead of trying to make their own.
You know, everybody exploits America and they use America so that they're able to see what they can get out of it. But when it comes to black Americans, people expect maybe us to kind of give some solution. The solution is when we come together as a people and we say, okay, this is enough. The solution comes when there's national lawsuits and marches of voices together. The marching is the voice of one. And right now, people are just full of themselves. You know, I got my EDD check. It just ended. You know, that kind of mindset. I don't have to go back to work. I don't have to do this. People are very self-absorbed. Like I said, in the Bible, it says in the last days, men will be lovers of themselves. So when we talk about black people as a whole, they've been breaking us up. We go back to the federal government when we talk about the Freedmen Bureau Bank, when we can never form our banks. And when we do form our banks, we don't put money in our banks. In the meantime, people have come from China. And if you come in any community, there's a Chinatown or Chinese community, and you'll see that they have their own banks. The Koreans have their own banks. The people from India, they have their own banks. The people from Armenian countries, they have their own banks. And they have their visas where they're bringing more than family members in. And so we're only...
Charlie, I have another question for you. Where do you see the economy going? You mentioned like people not wanting to go back to work based on them, getting unemployment and stuff like that. Where do you think America is headed financially?
Financially, we're in big trouble. I follow Peter Schiff. He's a financial economist. I advise people to follow him.
Me too.
Ken McElroy talks about investing in houses and real estate property, looking at different forms of cash flow. I believe that the American dollar is about to crash. It will crash over time. Right now, you've got a bunch of notice of defaults where people are now told they have to make their mortgage payment. If they don't make their mortgage payment, they're going to lose their property. So we're on an economic global crash. It's just inevitable. I mean, Peter talked about it today. He talked about it the other day when he was on different news channels, and just hearing them talk about the gold market. Gold is tradable. It's something that is you can trade as tangible goods. The challenge that we see people talk, we talk about Bitcoins. I've studied a little bit. Bitcoins was hot when I remember 2010, and I didn't jump on it. And so now, people are talking about that, but I'm talking about tangible goods. I believe that the economy should be, if you and your family do not own a house, and you do not own some land, and you do not have a gun, and you don't believe that you know how to cook or have something where you can grow on yourself, you could be in trouble. Because you have an economy right now where people don't want to do anything. Remember when the market crashed in 2005 and 2008 during the Obama administration, or right before the Obama administration? That's a different type of crash than this crash. You had at least a working economy. Now you have a non-working economy depending on what state you lived in. Georgia never shut down. Georgia kept its dollars rolling. So them niggas had to keep moving. California shut down. New York shut down. California at one time was the 5th largest economy in the world. It is no longer that. It is now at a point that California, listen, is losing a congressional seat because they have so many people exiting the state. That is a first time in U.S. history. That tells you how deep it is in California of the exit and the mass exit of California. So yes, I do believe the economy is going to get hit hard, partly because people not making money. And then if it's falsified, if someone comes and tells me, no, Biden and the economist said that, well, the economy is doing great, the numbers are great. They're false numbers because you're pumping fake money into the economy. You're giving money to people not based on work ethics. You're giving them money based on you want to stimulate the economy because the people of the COVID, everyone's got COVID, or everyone should stay home. So I'm staying home, I'm not working, and I want more money and I want more checks. You know, the Latino families in California are getting between $20,000 to $50,000 per household. Why? Because they have 2 or 3 families living in the house. And they've been doing that for almost, 2 years now? So you can't keep stimulating this fake economy and expect not to have recourse from it. So my mindset is I'm a real estate agent, I'm a real estate developer, and I've already started telling people, get out of states like blue states and find you a state that is more compatible for you. Because those states are going to encounter a major fall, including Las Vegas. I hate to tell you, Las Vegas is going to get hit up. Washington State is going to get hit. And California is the leading mass of that. That's why they couldn't lose Gavin Newsom. They have to stay in control of absolute power of the people.
Bam, right there.
Absolutely. I added Ashley to the chat. Ashley.
Hello.
Hi, Ashley.
How are y'all today? What's going on?
What's up, Ashley?
I just being yelled not too long ago.
I'm being yelled at by a toddler, but I'm listening to y'all.
No, I only came on because you said to come on. Tell you why I can't stand Phaedra.
Yes. Why?
First of all, Lord I Jesus. Never liked Phaedra. Never. Since the first episode she was on, I knew I couldn't stand her. That fake accent, that fake Southern veilness, I couldn't take it.
Ashley, you don't like educated Black women? Are you Black female education phobic?
Those shows are designed to
you. But Ashley, I don't have time for you.
Ashley, you know them shows are designed to bring ratings, and Phaedra brings a simple, different type of laissez-faire. Wouldn't you agree with me?
No. Only people who can't see past her trash tend to truly like her. If you can see past it, she's good for a laugh in a while.
You can tell that through the man she chose, or the men she chooses.
Thank you. And can we just talk about how Apollo was never good looking?
Oh,
Apollo was light skinned with some quote unquote good hair, and of course, simple Black people love that. No, Apollo was never good looking to me, and I always thought he was gay. But that's just me.
Oh,
damn!
Shut your mouth, girl. Shut your mouth, girl.
What did Phaedra do to you? Why are you coming for her?
Yeah, why are you coming for her man? She got a
Why are you jealous of her law degree? Why are you jealous of her preservative making?
Hello?
She makes preservatives. Why are you jealous of that?
Well, I mean, I was initially irritated when she got up there and was lying about her conception date. I thought all that was like really unnecessary.
See, and that right there, it is like they didn't really drag her like they should have for that.
No, they didn't. But then I be blaming like maybe they edited out because there's no way.
She lied because she wasn't married.
That's exactly what it was.
Nobody cares.
That too. But my thing is, and Lord knows I can't stand Kim, but when Kim was breaking it down, and she was like, that's not even possible. She's like, how y'all gonna tell me? She's like, first of all, how do you lie about your due date to a group of women who all have children?
Who already got kids?
And then on top of that, one of them is a registered nurse, which Kim Zolciak was, and I'm like, damn, I didn't know that.
And then she showed her credits too. She was like, no, nurse, right here. No, thank you.
And she was the LVN. She wasn't the LVN. She's actually a registered nurse.
You don't even need to be a nurse to know that was bullshit. But the thing that was the thing that turns my opinion as far as Phaedra's concerned is like, I really liked her friendship with Portia. And I do believe that everything that was said about Candy Burris is absolutely 100% true. All the way down to the joke about drugging Portia. I believe every fucking bit of it. And that's why this says she basically went on tour, like, with a dungeon. She's always talking about sex. You know, her and Todd are into all type of weird stuff. And I think that it might not have been worded it the exact way that it was repeated, but something was definitely said. And I just don't think that it's fair that Phaedra got left holding a bag like that.
No, I thought that was just taking it just too far. I feel like that could have been handled completely differently. And if they allow Phaedra, it's one of those slippery slopes. If they allow Phaedra to come back, the show's already trash. How much further are we gonna allow this to go down?
Well, you allow Portia to drag Kenya across the stage by her hair weave and come back.
Right. That was deserved. I think it needs to happen a lot more.
It was. And so did Candy deserve for somebody to expose her and get her kicked off the show because she's boring.
Well, Candy needs to go to you. Candy should always.
Mama Joyce could not carry it for this woman for so much time. Mama Joyce is doing all the heavy lifting.
If you're gonna do Phaedra back, then bring back Apollo. Bring back Phaedra and Apollo. Let's keep the ratings.
No, thank you.
I don't care about Apollo, just Phaedra.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I used to get a new wife, and I don't know. I think he's trying to get his life together. They didn't already snitch on him enough.
I used to dislike Mama Joyce until looking back on it. Mama Joyce was pretty much right on all of this.
Mama Joyce is always right. This is what I was telling people.
Mama Joyce was right. We gave her
first, when I stopped watching the show, was I didn't like the fact that I know when I stopped watching it was when what's her name? The one that does Cynthia Bailey. So Cynthia Bailey invested in her Jamaican husband's restaurant and lost money. And then he was looking at her like she had a problem. I'm like, nah, that's some whack shit right there. I'm all about a brother trying to get his entrepreneurship on, but you don't lose your girl's money. I don't care if you got to lie, cheat, and rip off investors. You make sure she get her principal back, please.
I agree.
And then you file bankruptcy. You do not leave. I don't care about. I mean, I love the man in spirit. I love Kevin Samuels. Even Kevin Samuels talks about this. And Donovan Sharp talks about this too. He's like, no matter what, if your wife or your girl put money in it, you do whatever you have to do. You even die to get her principal back at least. And then tear the business apart or whatever happens. But you don't let your girl and look at her like she's crazy. I was like, that's some whack shit, dude. That made black men look like we were dusty as hell. Like, I'm done with this damn show. But then again, why are you investing in the damn bar when your man don't even get up in the morning?
You talking about Cynthia?
Yeah.
I don't think that all the information is available when it comes to those two. I don't fucking trust Cynthia not one damn bit. And Cynthia seems to me, because remember, she had the Bailey industry. Bar One did more than the damn Bailey industry, right? And she was mad at Kenya, who was really trying to help her when them girls were showing up with their coochie crack.
Thank you. She was just helping the girl out.
Kenya was like, this is not professional.
She should have hired Kenya to help her because Kenya was like Miss USA.
I'm saying that we cannot say that Cynthia is the business mastermind and the husband was the oath. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is that the business closed and she lost her money. He didn't try to get her money back before it closed, and then he was looking at her like she was crazy. That's what pissed me off. I'm like, man, your wife's money went away. It's two sides of the story, and from what I have seen women do in her position is micromanage everything to the point where that's why they ain't got their fucking money. You know what I'm saying? Being overly involved because it's my money and I need to be involved and I know what they're talking about. And especially when it comes to this restaurant business and how men do shit, men be cutting fucking corners and doing all types of. They're liable to make all type of moves, and it's because everybody else is so fucking crooked. So a lot of times, what happens is the woman got the money, she need to oversee everything, and so-called she think making sure it's done right. It's done right, all right. And when you get through doing everything right, you won't be making a fucking profit. And so it's just doesn't, guys, it don't help to go that route and to allow a woman to just your girlfriend or whoever to just finance it for you, because she gonna want to control how the business is fucking done. You know what I'm saying? You might want to deal with a particular contractor for a particular reason. It might be a hookup, or it might be a situation where you just
he stole the material. He got the material that fell off of a truck, and they got to hook up inside track.
Okay, come on now. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, I got you, Kiki.
Okay, and I'm knowing this because I was raised by my dad. You feel me? So I already know how shit go. You feel me? When he be trying to, he got the hookup on somebody might come to replace the floors or the air conditioner, some big job, and then here come my stepmom and be like, no, because this guy right here, my coworkers, and he's more reputable, and he Yelp, and you know what I'm saying? And you be to spend twice as much for the job to get the shit done. It should be half done, and he got half-ass done anyway. Sometimes they fuck it up. And as the man, if it's your project, it's gonna be on you to fix it. So you can take her advice all you want to, but every time you listen to her against your better judgment, guess who gotta fucking figure out how to fix it anyway? So after that headache, he probably want models in there, but you jealous, and somebody done told you every time he whisper in somebody's ear that's, this girl is the socialite that's gonna get everybody coming to the fucking party. He go try to whisper in her ear, butter her up a little bit so he can get business booming. And here come your goddamn girlfriends calling to tell you that he cheating on you, and now they put all over the fucking TV show.
That's exactly what happened too.
I know these bitches well enough to know that they are conducting business. And I was asking my husband this because what I have noticed from the guys who be on Kevin Samuels and shit, what they have not said on a lot of these male shows, what they have not said is that a lot of these women are just fucking stupid. And Cynthia is one of those women. And I'm wondering if the men are unable to articulate that's the real reason they having a hard time fucking identifying and finding somebody to equal yoke with, or do men just not expect women to be intelligent at all in the first goddamn place? Because they never even mention it.
Look, hold on. I gotta say something. I've been quiet the whole time. Y'all realize this is TV. These are not people that, if think about it, if you were watching them, would you really befriend these type of people? Kiki, I can't see you saying, hey, I want to hang out with Cynthia or any of these women.
Absolutely not.
You would not.
Absolutely not.
So to give that much depth and credence to these women is unbelievable. The only housewife I want to hang around with is Bethany from The Housewife of New York. Okay, when she came up with that skinny martini, and that bitch made all that money, almost $200 million, and she's still growing. Yeah, that's the only one I want. They said, well, you want to pick one of the wives? I want Bethany. Thank you very much.
I'm hanging out with all of them from Beverly Hills. Any one of them. Put Kathy on the top. I'm hanging out with Kathy, Kyle, all except for Erica, because that bitch is broke.
I literally want to be friends with what's her name? With Kathy Hilton, because I want to be friends with her husband and teach me the real estate game. Period. Because truth be told, Kathy Hilton is the richest one.
No, I'm just trying to be Lisa Vanderpump and her fabulosity, and her life, and them dogs.
Oh, she broke now.
How's she broke?
Vanderpump.
I mean, she lost because of the pandemic, because her restaurants, she lost like half. Well, she's still rich, but like she's not like she was. The pandemic really messed them up.
Okay.
She opened new restaurants.
She's not like Erica Jane broke. She's not like getting her shit repossessed and like maintaining on the.
Here's the thing with the whole Erica Jane thing. They're not broke either. The maximum, the money that they're asking for is like $4 or $5 million. And that's like, remember no, like $4 or $5 million.
Several judgments. One of them is for $20 million. It's like, and then the thing is, they're claiming that they have no money, so they have taken this girl's assets, her clothes, like her.
They taking everything.
They're taking everything.
But she had nothing to do with it, though. That's the sad part.
Yes, she did. And he put $20 million in her production account. Listen, I know she's guilty. If you just watch her fucking music videos, that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, but the thing is, did she know the money came from settlement? That's just her. How you can't know that? There's no way. There's no way you can know that stuff.
I don't know why.
Am I being naive again? Kiki, am I being naive right now?
I mean, listen, this prostitute, first of all, this woman is a lady of the night. Only prostitutes marry somebody that much fucking older than them. He wasn't even her perfecto, okay? That woman knows all about the underworld and criminal activities, and her son is a fucking police officer. That bitch knows crime, and she thinks she's smart. And this is why she's still throwing it in everybody's face that she's gonna get away with it. In my mind, she's like a superstar or some shit. It's fascinating.
Oh my gosh. It's all for ratings, and y'all look at these people as normal. None of these people are normal. They're not normal.
They're not normal. No, they're not. And she's gonna be alright too. That's what I'm so sorry for.
Hey, I have to entertain myself somewhere. I can't just sit around here and stare at fucking talkies bullshit all day long.
Watch the financial market.
But can we please ask the question, what happened to, where are our Freedom Caucus people? Where are our Liberator people? Where the white folks at? That's what I'm asking.
I told you, I said, where the people in the wood? Where's the wood people at? Where the wood people?
Well, listen, Clint Eastwood.
Crypto, where are the people at?
Clint Eastwood just put out a new movie. I think it's on HBO, and hopefully that will get the good old boys all revved up for some revolutionary shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to see it.
What's the name of it?
I don't know.
Where are our people? I mean, this is utterly ridiculous.
Right when I was getting on here, so.
So I don't know. I just know that I found out today that my religious exemption for my job is under review.
Yay!
And yeah, well, but everyone's is under review right now. But the thing is, but the frustrating thing that pisses me off is like it shouldn't even be under review. I don't want to take this motherfucker. Period. And then I've had so many different COVID tests, all came back negative. And the thing is that if I do get COVID, or the situation, or the Jim Jones, the Jim Jones is that, you know what I'm trying to say. If I do get that thing, what happened is there's hydrochloroquine, there's ivermectin, there's this other thing, border or something like that, to where in 3 days you good. It's like taking a Z-Pack.
It's also chicken noodle soup and orange juice. That's what you really do. You get the cold anyway. This is the cold. Like, I don't know how many times we have to say that. You sit down, you eat some soup, you drink some orange juice, and then you go with your life.
Exactly.
Like, what? I don't understand.
And I take 33 vitamins and herbs every morning. Period. And the thing is, I've been in contact with people who have had the situation or the thing. And the thing is that I go, and my job is to go in and out of doctors in offices all day, in hospitals all day. And I've been in these weeks, and I've had these tests. I've never had it. Not that I'm saying that I'm immune, and not that I'm saying that it's fake or nothing like that. But I'm just saying I don't think that it's all roads leads to this solution. That's my frustration. It doesn't lead to us being mandated to have this. And now I remember. Now I was alive during the AIDS epidemic, and folks were going to sleep healthy and waking up dead.
Science has absolutely nothing to do with anything that's happening right now. And that's the bottom line. And these jobs are not in any position at all whatsoever to be able to mandate or make a decision on anything when they don't have enough. How the fuck the FDA is saying we don't have enough information, we don't have no data, and the job feel like they're in any position at all to mandate some shit. Like they know what the hell is best for you or even the work environment. It's a joke.
Get your prepaid legal shield. That's all I'm saying. Get your prepaid legal shield. Because, yeah.
Ashley, did you want to add anything else before we get off here?
No, I came in extra late, so I have to go back and watch the whole thing. You be on here when I'm like in sleep and everything, all extra early.
Oh, I know, right?
Did you listen to the part where the FDA was pretty much saying the same stuff that Kiki's been saying forever? And no, then
I heard her go over that, but I have to go back and like actually see the video, listen to it. Because
Ashley, I'm gonna give you some advice. Sit down. You're gonna be shocked. They sitting there telling you exactly the scam, and then they sitting there telling us we gotta get the vaccine. Or we get the Jim Jones. And they're sitting there telling you, and I don't want to spoil it for you.
This is too much. The stupidity of it all.
And the thing is, I think they've gotten lazy. They don't want to sit there and manipulate us anymore. They just want to just bully us and get this thing hot and popping. Because the thing is that people, I think, it's getting to a point where people are still talking about it and they're getting frustrated with it. I think it's going to boil over pretty soon.
I don't. I think you're underestimating the depth of the stupidity of the common person.
I agree, and I think that there's a movement right now of population control.
True.
1,000%.
So, I mean, this thing is bigger than all of us. And all I say is that, you know, what little tiny space you have on this planet, in this universe, do something with it. Do something with it. Then something that you did different than, you know, something that you save yourself. Something different than you did 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. We all can't think the same way. You can't think the way you thought 5 years ago. You can't think the way you did in 2020. You have to understand there's an agenda, and you could be part of the population control, which means you could die. Somebody in your family could die. Someone else you know near you could die. That's why you have to control what you can. Use wisdom. Stay safe. Stay prayed up. Stay prayed up. Take your vitamin D. Take your vitamin C. Take your zinc and zinc copper. That's what I take.
You know, I'm grateful that I distanced myself from friends and so-called friends and family members who was out here acting like they was a little fucking stuck on stupid in general. You know what I'm saying? Like, at some point, I just felt like, you know, life is too serious for people to feel entitled to be dumb and want to argue with somebody who they know damn well takes it upon themselves to research. Like, you know fucking well you ain't looked this up, so why are you even arguing with me? Them type of people, I don't deal with them.
You can't.
They can't call my phone.
They're bisexuals.
Yeah, the bisexuals can't call my phone and cry and complain and ask me for advice and what to do and what's gonna happen next and all that type of shit like that. And, you know, whatever happens to them, I'm not even on their emergency contact, so I'm not gonna find out till way the fuck after first. I'm not gonna find out immediately. We already know where this is going to go, and it's like when I was trying to prepare and you know, like Shirley was saying, getting prepared and that kind of stuff, people were not interested, and so you know, we don't have to do their karma with them.
You know, let me ask you a question. Can I ask you all this question? What do you do with that situation? Meaning that I told you so. Instead of using that word, I told you so, because I keep that in my tongue all the time. I'll look at them like I told you so, but I don't say it. How do you not want to say it? And then how do you say to them, okay, now that I told you, are you going to agree with me? Because I don't think so. I think they still want you to either flop with your truth or they want to be right.
I say I told you so, and then I move on with my life, because I told you so is one of my favorite things to do and say. I wear that like a badge of honor. I told you so, you idiot. And now let me go on about my life. You're not going to sit here and stress me out because you chose to be stupid, and now it's blown up in your face. No, I told you so, now be gone.
I do words. I said, this is why you're not fit to speak. Period.
I told that.
Literally, I told my brother's wife, this is why you're not fit to speak. I said, you sit there and you want to sit there and listen to all these damn idiots on CNN and this and that. I said, you don't want to listen to nobody with no reason. Period. You got no degree. You work 3 bullcrap jobs, and all of a sudden you're the Dalai Lama Mama Cleo call me now for a free reading expert on politics. No, you don't get to speak at this table. But since you loud and you older, you get to have a voice, and you think that we're gonna follow you into the crypt with Biden? No, we're not, because Biden ain't going in the crypt with you. He's walking your ass up in there, and he's gonna steal the tomb. I'm not going in there with your ass. These Biden sexuals are the devil. You need to let them know they're not fit to speak. they're not fit to lead. It's not so much saying I told you so, because that's obvious. You gotta let them know you are not fit to speak, you're not fit to lead, so that they know not to ever step to you again, not to ever even form a syllable or a preposition to even challenge your voice. We are the God King, not them.
I feel you. I feel you on that one, for real.
See, I don't even get that emotional about it anymore. For me, it's more of just the I told you so, and then we share a look of me and my absolute just superiority over them because of their stupidity, and I just chuckle and move on. That's all it is at this point. Told you so.
Yeah, but see, if you leave it at that point, what will happen is they'll just be like, okay, I messed up on this one. Maybe I need to go listen to one of my other homegirls who reads books sometimes and get some extra information, and then come on back and fight another day.
Or you got this one right.
I know what you're talking about.
Or you got this one right, but you're not gonna get the next one right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's why you have to let them know. No. Your entire world is not fit to speak here. You don't get to think. Like, for example, if there's a conference that's talking about, master's degrees and PhDs in counseling and organizational leadership and stuff like that, and Kiki's on, I can't go speak about that. I don't get to speak. I don't know enough about the situation, but I know Kiki does. So what do I look like trying to tell Kiki about some shit? I'm trying to tell Kiki about something, or if it's about Ashley, your industry, your expertise. I can't talk about any of that stuff. So for me to kind of bump in with my experience, it doesn't fit. So I don't get to speak. And the problem that we have, especially in our society, is that we think because you elderly or you cool or you know people, you get to come and have a conversation about such things. No, we can start telling folks, you don't get to come over here and speak.
Well, that's why social media is so important to the deep state's agenda, because it does give a voice to people who probably should be speaking. Just a moment, we added to the chat. Wait, did she leave? Cat mama? Oh, she hung up. Okay, well, you can call back if you want. Okay, you can continue. I'm sorry.
But Ashley, you understand what I was saying about that? Because the thing is, like, a lot of these people think they can just speak because they think that they listen to CNN and stuff. But we have to be I look at it. That's why I love this channel, because we're the adults. We're the ones who do the research and we bring stuff to the table. And if I have a question or something, I'm not going to speak on something if I don't fully understand the context of it. And then if someone says, like, for example, if you come in or Shirley or you come in and say, no, she's like, you got to look at it like this because of this, this, and this. I have no problem saying, okay, cool, because that's how we are here. But these Biden sexuals, they think that they think they're the boom Gucci. They think that they are the boom effing Gucci, the crack Jesus. They are not the crack Jesus. You're dumb. No, you don't get to come in this space and speak. Shut up. Oh my God, these people! I'm telling you, Ashley. I swear, if I can blow them up with my mind, I swear.
No, I get it. I definitely get it. I think it's because it's so easy for me to just shut people out. It's like, okay, I said what I had to say. I done told you were wrong. Now I've shut you out and you can't come back and say anything. That's why for me it only takes that one. Told you so, and then shut it out. That way you can't come back. You can't come over here and try to keep going. Like, no, you've been shut down and shut out. We're done.
I think let me say this.
You know what you also need to do? Oh, sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say my approach is a little different. Instead of I told you so, I'll go to them and I can tell they're fluttered by all that's going on, and they went ahead and got the shot and they got the second shot. So I say, are you going to get the third shot now? And I'll just, type, are you going to get the third? Are you going to get the boost? I'm not doing that. I'm not. I don't know. They got me taking this shot. I can't walk straight. My dick don't get hard. I can't get my balls to hang to the left. Oh, your dick don't hang the same? You sure you don't want the third or fourth shot? Maybe you'll get it to hang right now. So again, but I don't have to say, I told you so. I said, you're living with your own aftermath of this. See, that's what people don't get. It's one thing to say, I told you so, but the fact that you're going to have to live, if it's not you or your loved one or whatever, it physically or emotionally affects you because you don't know to say no to government, no to ideology that doesn't work in your best interest, no to something that's destroying your family, no to a country that has no values, no laws, no regulations, no constitution. You don't know how to say no to those people. you fall on the sword of socialism. And now that you've fallen on the sword, let me continue to ask you, is this the best route for you? Because I don't have to say I told you so. You're going to live with the outcome of that told you so.
And the truth be told, Shirley, that situation about erectile dysfunction in men, that's not what Nicki Minaj's story, that's not the first time I've heard that. I've heard that at least 4 times before from people who are in my circle that I work with. Because like they, some people got the Jim Jones, and before it was mandated, and they're telling me covertly, they're like, yeah, they're covertly getting the situation pills and taking lots of them. I'm like, seriously, like, why you got a whole, like, why am I in your car? And like, we get company cars. Why am I in your company car? And in the middle of your thing, you got like 2 big old boxes of generic situation pills. Like, what, what I'm saying? Like, what's going on here? Like, for real. There ain't that much erectile dysfunction in the world. Let me be clear.
Just a mess. No, and my thing with these people who are falling for this socialism crap is that they're still stupid to the point that they're falling for socialism. If you're gonna be a socialist, at least know about it, at least understand it. Which is why when people were going for Bernie and all that crap, at least Bernie was fake promising them things. We weren't gonna actually get it, but he was gonna fake promise it to you. So I understood that if you're gonna be a socialist, at least get something out of it. But people are just falling for stupidity and not getting anything out of it. Like how is this beneficial? What about this says it's gonna do something good for me?
My favorite line is, what's in it for me? When people ask me, why aren't you speaking? Why don't you do that? I said, are you gonna cut a check? Cut a check. Clear your conscience and cut a check. If you want to clear your conscience, you want to know the real truth, clear your conscience, cut a check. You don't want to cut no check. I'm with the sister. She's right on the point. You get these people, they just stupid. They just do it for no reasons. After a while,
if you're gonna be stupid, at least be stupid with an end goal. I think that's what's so hard for me to wrap my head around. There's no end goal. No one's benefiting from this, and yet they're working so hard for it, and that makes no sense to me.
It's called Pagame, and then on top of that, that's the Biden.
No, don't move that fast. Go back. Explain Pagame. Explain that to the people. What does that mean?
Oh, it's pay me in Spanish. Pagame.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Pagame means pay me in Spanish. And so the thing is that that's the problem with these bisexuals. Remember how IQ was trying to get lit, trying to go live and trying to get candles for Black folks, stuff like that. And everyone said he gotta wait. Well, guess what? We did all that work in 2020, all that work in the election, and guess who got the hookup? The Asian community, who ain't done a goddamn thing ever, but get paid by us. And so that's the thing, is they're doing all this stuff thinking they're gonna get favor, but you don't get power until you start saying no. And that's the thing that I'm really thinking that is going to happen, because a lot of people are saying no, we're not. I mean, it's yeah. And I think this is
even with a lot of people
don't believe it.
Even with a lot of people saying no, now they're trying to force your employer, which is unconstitutional. These are private entities. Who gives you the right to tell you how to live your life or use your body in what manner? When does an employer have the right over your body and what goes inside of a body? I mean, people don't even think that deep. I'm like, you have to think to yourself. These people are telling you what to put in your body, but they're not telling you what it is, but they're going to tell you that you need to put it in. It's population control. That's what they put in your body. Your numbers game.
My favorite thing is when people say, you're doing it, to save your life and to save others' lives because of blah, 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 and stop the spread and all that crap. So my favorite comeback is always, doesn't cigarettes kill? Isn't that still legal? They can do whatever they want to with cigarettes. You can still smoke anywhere, do it all. You can buy it wherever you want to. You can kill yourself with cigarettes and others with secondhand smoke. And yet somehow that's still legal. But y'all want me to sit here and tell me to take this jab because I might catch a cold and that might spread my cold to somebody else, maybe, possibly, somehow, because somebody ate a bat in China and it spread all the way over the rest of the world in a couple of weeks. Make that line of reasoning make sense to me.
I don't have to. I don't have to.
Everything else.
I don't have to, because there's enough people out there stupid enough to compensate for people like you. You one of them smart Negroes. I'm come back to you later. I'll find another way.
Joy Reid's gonna be talking about you on the platform.
So I just the fact that people still believe this came from a bat, I'm just like, I don't even have the words. Didn't we learn about this in like middle school science class? That's not how this works.
Well, that's what I've been saying the whole time.
Like, didn't we learn it? I could have sworn we learned this.
I could have sworn we did too. And they gave us a picture of all the cells we had to identify the different parts of the cells.
Yeah, when I do have the time to actually argue with stupid people, which is, I mean, I have the time.
You say you actually have the time. Go ahead.
But I do have the time and energy to argue with them. My thing is always, okay, somebody's clearly lying. Either the science we learned in school is lying, or the science that they're telling us they have now is lying. Because both.
Well, we know the science from school wasn't lying because Fauci was paying for gain of function to try to get animal viruses to work in human bodies.
Yeah.
So that's my whole thing. I'm like, either school and science in school is lying or science now is lying. Both can't be true at the same time. That's not possible. One or both are lying. And whenever I tell people that, they're always like, they never have an answer. I'm like, well, what's the answer? Well, because either one or both are lying. Both can't be true.
Remember,
it's BS.
The new science has 70 genders.
Oh my God. You guys realize that Fauci goes all the way back, I think, before Reagan. What was before Reagan?
Yeah. He's been there since the 80s, right?
He goes before that. I think he even goes almost back to Nixon. That's one of them positions he should not be able to hold that long. That's one of those where they should say, I think you got the poison seed a little bit too long.
And so I asked this question last time. Why wasn't he fired immediately by Trump or any other previous administration?
Why did Trump?
Just based on the way he ruined the AIDS situation, how he ruined that. Remember, that should have been enough.
I want to know why. I want to know why Trump didn't enforce the insurrection when they said it did. It didn't. White people are in control of this country, not me. I'm black. Ask somebody else. I'm black.
I don't even like talking about the insurrection because that thing is such a joke, and it's like.
But there was no insurrection. There never incited any insurrection.
There never was. But I'm like, as if these conservatives was getting ready to get up off their ass and do some shit. As if.
Come on now.
Be here.
Come on now, preach. As if.
Wait, did you read what Devastating for You just wrote? Devastating for You. Yeah, he said. Oh, I'm sorry, Joseph Wright. He said, y'all want to see something interesting? Go to Hulu, watch X-Files season 10, episode 6. Ooh.
What's on the King? What's on there?
He said something interesting. So
you want to watch something?
I'm gonna go.
Watch Scandal, the very first season where they rigged the machines. Now they were talking about that. That was the first season of Scandal.
I remember that one.
Where they found out that's how they became president.
Right now, there's a show on Netflix right now. Is it called The Election? I think or something like that. And these kids rigging a high school election.
That's funny.
And it came out at the same exact time as all this was going on.
So, yeah, I don't know why Trump didn't do a lot of things, but at this point, when people ask me questions, I say, look, white people control this country. White people control, American white people control a lot of what happens in the world, and they play in other people's countries. And that's a whole nother conversation where they jump in other countries and tell them they have to take the vaccination and all this stuff. And they're rebelling. You know? Y'all got to watch.
And the leaders are being killed. Remember? The Madagascar president dead. Haitian dead.
Amazon, what is it? A couple of African presidents are dead. Who said, no, we're not going to make our people take.
It was Tanzania.
Zimbabwe.
Burundi.
Yes.
Haiti. I remember early 2020, it was a guy in Korea. He wasn't the president or anything. He was just a high up in their, I don't want to say military, something like he was very high up personnel in Korea. He ended up dead too, and now everybody in Korea is getting vaccinated. So
Ashley, Ashley, I think you and I are the only people who know about that. I knew about that too.
Yeah, it was
that story went undercover.
Yeah, it was me and like one of my other friends. She knew, but she's the one who actually told me. She was like, "Have you heard about the guy in Korea who ended up dead?" And now everybody in Korea getting the vaccine.
Ooh, yep.
That was early 2020.
Yeah, yes, I know about that one.
Is that
in South Korea or in North Korea? Because I heard they weren't getting vaccinated in North Korea.
Yeah, North Korea's not getting vaccinated. Nope.
So this happened in South Korea?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what's his name? I think the three of us are the only ones who peep game on that story.
Because I was like, so we're just like gonna talk about all these people ended up dead who keep saying no. All these high up officials are dead, all within the same 6 months because they said go to the shot. I'm like, okay, so we just gonna. First of all, I don't.
They said no. See, here's how the Masonic fraternal orders and such work. Everybody that's in a position of power got there through some type of fucking unscrupulous ass, like questionable means. And it's not some people, it's not a few bad apples, it's literally everybody in power. And it has to be that way. That third Godfather is so cold, man. Because he said it is dangerous being an honest man. And it really is. And this plan had to come to fruition at this particular time because it's taken them about 50, 60 years to make sure that the public's humanity and common sense had been degraded. They had to make sure this is a plan for world domination. This is not gonna happen overnight. You need a docile, stupid ass public. You need lazy, your youngest people, you need them to be hopped up on dope and not paying attention and unaggressive.
And video games.
Not desiring. I mean, a young man said, in all seriousness, he's like, I want a universal income. Working is too hard. And it's not fair. And there's rich people that don't have to do anything. And we should just have a universal income because they've got all the wealth and they could just share it and they can solve poverty. And then I'm like, so you really want to live in a world where you make the same amount as everybody else, regardless of how much effort you put out? And he said, yes, absolutely.
Exactly. And that's the problem. It's even a problem in academia. And to hint on why I have Shirley on the line, the reason why we don't go around screaming, cut the check, reparations, cut the check is because for about 200 years, they've been given their reparations in a form of, this is what they chose to take, Section 8 or subsidized programs, unsubsidized programs, which is real charity, which isn't forced, agencies that can help individuals with resources and finances and stuff of that sort. When we say cut the check, when it comes to education and them, and when we say them, we're speaking to Congress, we're speaking to them. We don't have to march on NDC for them to get the message. There are crooked head fund managers, and I don't know how many students were affected, but they will change your student account number and manipulate data because they know what's going on behind the scenes, and they know that they can probably think that they can easily get away with it. So it's up for students to stand up. So when it comes to Congress putting forth some type of legislation, and I know that it's worked because some people have reported that their student loans were erased. It can happen by a click of a button, but my main concern is, and I'm speaking to liberal academia too, you have competent students, competent individuals, and they are being put into a situation to where they have to worry about debt, but they're being pushed out of the workplace at the same time due to hostility. Make it make sense. When we say cut the check, we mean click the button, erase the debt.
Yeah.
So we will take reparations in any form, any means necessary. We will take reparations in any form. We just don't dub it reparations. We don't dub it ADOS.
That's a very good point, because whenever Black people have gotten together with a list of whatever Black folks wanted, up until this the last election, there wasn't even a conversation about reparations. It had not happened for a while. It had been a minute since the last time Black people was like, and whatever happened to our reparations. But so if Black folks as a collective continue to come to the government and say, we need more public housing, we need more food stamps, we need more whatever shit. Then
so how can they stay 40 acres in a mill by sitting up there picking Americans out of their
you didn't ask for that. You asked for fucking food stamps.
Thank you. Well, how can they're speaking about 40 acres in a mill, as Shirley have stated, in order to have generational wealth, it has to come from generation to generation. So they're 40 acres in a mill, and I'm going to keep it real with you, Kiki, 40 acres in a mill. Wells Fargo thought that they can push individuals out of family property that they own for 15 years. 15 years, Kiki, invested money into the property, and you know who end up living in that home? Someone on Section 8. So when we say cut the check, we're not speaking about we will take any type of legislation for them to make it right, just on the simple fact when they repealed Glass-Steagall, it affected different types of financial markets, basically, and that's why we have bubbles.
So you're saying that the property is still being occupied by the same families, except for they're not the owners no more?
My mother is not the owner no more, and Wells Fargo had to pay the fuck up because we were not playing any games with them, and they still have one more check to cut. And when we visit the property, who's living there? Someone on Section 8. So you just someone's making $3.75, moving from New Orleans to Texas, working their asses off, basically. Only for what? Only for someone to hit a $300,000 lick, a real estate lick on you? Make it right, Congress.
It's a lot of funny games being played, and a lot of predatory lending. You know, a lot of Black folks lost property, putting up houses for their family, going back and forth to court and shit, needing lawyers and putting up houses to get motherfuckers out of jail. It's been a lot of shit. You know, Obama's policies and him just encouraging, incentivizing people to basically take a loan out and walk away from it, no questions asked. Kids, they'll pay that.
Well, they can pick up their own loans, child, but the individuals, not to interrupt you, people get predatory lending confused with real estate fraud and confused with other stuff, because you did have individuals attempting to be first home time purchasers, not buyers, because you're not a buyer, a homeowner until you had a deed in your hands. And they knew that they could not afford the homes. So that's where the other bubbles come in at.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's why they did not get compensated, because they knew that they could not afford the homes, went under. But individuals who were fake foreclosed on, they should be marching at DC. They should march at the Capitol. Put the pen to the paper. Talking about taking down statues, what difference is that going to make? No, we want real legislation, and we want the laws that were already initiated or enacted to be enforced, basically. So that's the message that we are sending to Congress.
That's all. That is the message for Congress in every single category. Can y'all just enforce the actual laws and rules that we have in place? Can you guys just do that, please? And stop declaring an emergency every time you don't want to have to go by the actual rules and laws we put in place.
And the statutes are still up.
Managers, they have a role to play too. And for individuals running around in these YouTube streets talking about we're brokers, are you a full-time broker or temporary brokers? Because those are the ones that were let inside, them and their little financial buddies, and they were able to hit licks against a consumer. Hit licks against the consumers. And if I had a badge, Kiki, hedge fund managers will be rounded up. They will be in prison or hung. Period.
So whose responsibility would that have been to do that? The Attorney General?
Attorney Generals, FBI, they've been going down. It's just, it doesn't make the news. They have been going down left and right throughout the states. It just doesn't make the news. Yeah.
The news is too busy selling vaccines.
Yeah, they're too busy. They're too busy, but people have been going down for financial crime. So in the hedge fund managers, they can keep on scrambling, because all this debt that's going on with the student loan bubbles and crisis, they know what they did behind the scenes. And that's why individuals need to pay attention to their promissory notes, pay attention to their account information, because they will sit up there and do a switcheroo no differently from what they did to the real estate industry, which is to try to turn mortgages into halo accounts, basically. That's what the gag is. you understand the jargon. People probably have to do their research if you don't understand the financial business, but student loans and other type of finances such as real estate goes hand in hand. It just have different laws that apply to it. Different laws, different rules, different regulations.
Well, personally, I want to say this personally to Emily greatly. I just have adored you. I think you are an amazing woman. I know you've come on my channel, you've monitored for me and watched the cuckoos. You've always had my back, and I've never had a chance to personally thank you. You are an intelligent woman. You've always brought substance to the table.
No, Shirley, we should be thanking you. You've been on Fox. You've been a voice for younger generations, just like Kiki is trying to be a voice for her generation, and it really, really just like pisses me off. I'm going to use that term now. It pisses me off to the fact to where people have a voice or whatever, and and it's like they don't take heed to the individuals who are willing to, you know what I'm saying, put their faces on camera, put their livelihoods or anything that they have to lose on the line. So younger generations should be thanking the older generations who are not playing to go along, get along, BS or whatever. It should be you thanking us, just like I appreciate Kiki because she's coming behind us and she's tried to be that voice or whatever. Individuals tried to shut her down. And all they can do is keep on trying because we have her back to the fullest and we do not have to agree on every single thing. So it should be us thanking elderly individuals who did not fall for the black church this. And back in the day, we used to have that in the black church to where they would be able to, just give a good word or whatever and be able, and for us to be able to reapply it into the real world. And today we do not have that in the mega black churches. But I thank you. That's why I interrupted you.
Well, thank you. I think you're amazing. I love all y'all. Kiki's my baby sister. So when people ask me, what's going on? I say, go watch Kiki Green. She'll keep you updated. That's all I say. Go to Kiki Green. But
I didn't know you had a new friend. I say mother. I have not met her yet or whatever. And she was like, who is this Kiki you keep talking about? I just go around just talking about Kiki this, Kiki that, Kiki this. And I'm like, Mom, you can listen to her. So she started listening to Kiki. And that I don't want to cry. That was the first time my mom, she voted for Trump. And that was her first time not voting Democrat.
Oh, wow.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
So Shirley, this is why I feel like, I have gotten Donald Trump votes and he has given the rest of these niggas chicken and I have not even gotten postcards. So,
girl, let me say this to you.
Good luck.
I didn't even get invited to Black History Month with Donald Trump. So that's a whole other conversation.
So what did they say about?
Say it again.
I think it's because we too cute. I think Melania is blocking. That's what it's got to be. That it's got to be Melania is hating on us.
There's white people that can control your narrative and control your voice. When Omarosa fucked up, I'm still blame her for a lot of this because Trump was very open at the very beginning, and I'm going to blame a lot of this to her. Oh no, I'm going to blame a lot of this on her. And then they had to find a flunky nigga. So they end up saying the Charlie Kirk, well, let's get this stupid Candace on. And shout out to stupid Kanye West, who gave her credibility when we thought she was going to be gone. And he let it,
shout out to Kanye West. Lord.
He's the one and then he switched bait, act like she was the shining star, and then said, oh, no, she's an idiot. Well, did you come back harder and clap back harder? No, you didn't. You left us with this fool. So now she got to she got to weave and she thinks she all that now. Come on.
Trump said that his hardcore base would not waver, and that's why he introduced all the other ones who would waver and fall for the coin and buck dance and whatever.
About the Omarosa situation is that this woman, like, why would you put her in charge of communications?
When all she does is like get in the fight with people.
Come on, you're supposed to be the president. You're supposed to know how to hire and fire people. You're a CEO. You run companies. You're going to run the country like it's a business. That's why we hired you for the job. And you don't bother to sit Fauci down and look at what he's done over the past few decades and be like, you're fired. You know what I mean? Like, that's totally what I hired you for, sir. And I also expected you to know that, like,
I think he tried to shut Fauci down. I don't think you can fire that position. We need to study more about that seat. I told you that seat goes back to Nixon. There's something
He
underground
tried to
about
get
this.
rid of him.
He did.
And
He
the
tried to get
liberals
rid of
pushed
him.
him on about it, and he brought him back.
He did. And
Being Omarosa, she's in charge of communications, but the first thing she did was lock her account on Twitter. Omarosa, like, seriously? And now you're blocked. Y'all didn't realize she locked her account on Twitter when she came on board with Trump? And he did her a favor, thinking she was really going to be a voice for Black people.
I don't know, but I know she put on a whole performance when she went on that one little TV show, and I was just completely done.
The performance.
I sat down with Omarosa in New York at the White House. They called it White House North before Trump was in office, before the beginning of 2016. And I'm noted in the Washington Times as one of the people that was invited up. And I said, what is the agenda that you have for the community? And she says, I have an agenda for Black people. And Yvette Cornell was very heavy about ADOS, and I shared some ideas. And I gave her some ideas. I said, here are the people I believe that you should have a voice with. Next thing I look up 2 months later, she's sitting down with the CBC. Sat down with the CBC, the Congressional Black Caucus, and they had that meeting. That meeting was set up through Omarosa.
Joseph said, I'm disappointed Trump didn't send Hillary to jail like he said. Listen.
Yes, okay, yes. Joseph,
okay,
right?
Listen, I am a tinfoil hat wearing, Alex Jones listening, anti-vaxxer, okay? You just go ahead. That's where I'm at with it. They can kiss my ass, okay? And I really was sitting here talking about lock her up, and I really thought that lady was going to jail. And that lady did not go to jail. So I have been, so now this is why, now I was told to trust the plan. The plan was supposed to pop off last weekend.
Oh, okay? Lord Jesus. Oh, no.
Waiting on Trump to resurrect the second coming of Donald Trump. Listen, I don't have this type of energy. I can't do it. My ass was falling off the train because I can't. I have been ride or die, but I am not trying to or die with this motherfucker. On top of him talking about these vaccines and shit. Help me to help you, Mr. President. And they keep saying,
the QAnon. What happened to the QAnon people? The QAnon people. What's going on with the QAnon people? It's all that, because that's part of it too.
I have no idea, because I'm not even like as far ridiculous as I am. I'm not even quite QAnon, because I ain't got time to be deciphering shit and keeping up with messages and following no trail, okay? But if y'all find something, let me know.
Follow the money, girl.
They can even find nothing.
All the money. Hillary know where all the money is.
Okay.
And that's why they could not touch Hillary, because it is bigger than Hillary, believe it or not.
I agree with that.
We were thinking that Hillary was the bad. She's a bad bitch. Don't get me wrong. She's highly educated. Other individuals know that if Hillary goes down, you have to go down too. But Hillary know where the money is, girl. That's why they couldn't touch her. But it's bigger than Hillary. People have done some really foul shit that's way bigger than Hillary Clinton, believe it or not.
You know why they don't mess with Nancy Pelosi? Because Nancy Pelosi knows where all Biden bones are. Biden bones of pedophilia. You know why they don't mess with Biden, does whatever they say to do? Because he knows he'll get pulled out and be the first U.S. president put in jail. You know why they don't mess with Kamala wannabe Black Harris? Because she sat down and slept with Little Willie and sucked Little Willie Dick Brown in California. And after she sucked Little Willie Dick Brown, they got a lot of dirt on that girl. They got pictures with that girl. That girl, she don't even have no kids. She's been a lifer, a politician, not helping the community. So
Hillary can bring down the entire fortress and let it burn. And she can let it burn. That's why they couldn't touch her. But it's bigger than Hillary. You know, Hillary for cattle gates and all the other gates that Hillary's been a part of. But when I say that I was surprised myself. I'm like, hold up. I had to check myself for a minute, Miss Susan. I'm like, it's bigger than Hillary. Goddamn.
You ain't lying. Preach. Shout out to Joseph Wright. You got that right.
And one thing I can give to Hillary Clinton is she's still maintained and held her damn own, and she was not about to let them drag her down like that. Because if you go now, man, there would be so many motherfuckers Hillary would take. She's like, nah, hold my champagne or the wine, whatever Hillary drinks.
Can I ask y'all something? Am I the only one watching the American crime impeachment about the Bill Clinton scandal?
Oh, you know I went and caught up. Are you kidding me? I
yes,
episode 2.
Yes.
Thank you very much for bringing that up. American Crime Story.
Oh, ain't that the best show right now?
It is. And the first 2 seasons were really good. The first one they did OJ. The second one they did Versace, right?
Yeah.
So the third one is the Monica Lewinsky. It's very dark, but it's kind of funny for some reason.
Okay, Kiki, you know what? I'm gonna say something to you, and you guys are gonna see. Linda Tripp is that one chick that you guys kicked to the curb. That's who Linda Tripp is. Who's the girl that y'all kicked to the curb in the group?
No, don't stop. Just don't start. Do not.
That's who she is. That's who she is.
Who is she?
That's who she is.
What did I do? Wait a minute.
Who did you kick to the curb?
No. You gotta watch. You can watch it. It's free on FX. Linda Tripp. Like, I didn't realize how demonic Linda Tripp is. Like, Kiki, I look at her and I'm like, even when I was that age, you know, I'm a little bit on the naive side. That woman, you know how I told you I don't know how it's being done, but my stomach is like telling me, my chest is like telling me something's not right here. Even at that age, I would have known that was a messy woman. That's crazy. That was crazy.
Monica Lewinsky is a fucking airhead.
And Monica Lewinsky, how does she feel? She wants to campaign against bullying. Girl, you're a whole harlot. You sleeping with somebody's husband, and you
twice.
I feel like with this particular situation, she was so young.
Yeah, I agree. Y'all beating that girl up
how
too much. She just wanted to suck some white dick, and it had a lot of money.
When she also wanted to
this is why. Hold on. Wait. This is why I'm going back to listening to R. Kelly. Because people picking and choosing too fucking much, and I don't understand why I can't step in the name of love, but the fucking rules don't apply all the way around. So I'm just letting y'all know, if you catch me listening to R. Kelly, I don't even fucking want to hear it. Because now, this man's sitting in jail, these grown-ass women, they consented to fucking crawling on the floor and doing all type of weird shit, okay? But then, and this man's in jail. But Bill Clinton over here, this girl was 20 years old, and in my mind, that's still really young. And he completely used his position. What's wrong with you? He completely used his position and did whatever he did with her. And she's the one who walked away with all this shame and all that. And he says up there alive, but it's like a joke thing for him. And it really humiliated her and ruined her career.
I think her and Bill had a role to play and they used each other. But as far as her thinking, and I believe that she really thought that she could replace Hillary. Hillary was not going for that. She was not going for that.
That's the delusions of a 20-year-old girl in love. She was just delusional.
She was in love.
She was in love. That's
he
all.
loved her.
She loved her. Because she was not the first one.
I would Kiki on this one only because this is the definition of sexual harassment in the workplace. He used his position over her to get what he wanted. Whether she consented or not, that was wrong. You don't get to be the boss and sleep with your employee.
And the intern at that girl.
You are the president of the United States of America. That is your employee. You are the definition of a person who cannot sleep with an employee, and he did.
And so, at the very least, she was not treated like a victim. She was treated home-wrecking hussy, as if this man had ever even been seen taking his marriage seriously, and as if we even believed populated with Hillary in order to push her.
I think she wanted to secure the bag, and I think she thought she could replace Hillary, and I'm not taking either side.
Because she was delusional at 20. But I'm going to ask you this, and this is a question for all you ladies. If it were you and you were 20 years old and the president of the United States of America, at your 20-year-old self, you're an intern, you eating oodles of noodles. And it's the president. And he's fine too. He look good.
Fine too.
You gonna fight the president off. You gonna be like, no, get off of the president, you dirty
playing the saxophone and all shit. Yeah, girl. Bill Clinton was that nigga.
Huh? What was that?
Bill Clinton was that nigga, but I'm not gonna fuck Bill down like that. I would not have pulled a Monica Lewinsky for the simple fact I think she knew how to secure the baby, which is why she saved that dress and whispered into her little homegirl ears.
So if you was in the same situation, you would have thrown it away?
Baby, I don't want that bag. You looking at Hillary?
There was no money. There's no money in it.
Envy would have thrown it away. Envy would have dry cleaned it and kept it moving.
Now you give me a single governor or something, Kiki. Not no president. Give me somebody that's single, that's not married. Yeah, I would have took that bag, but I want to sit up there. I'm gonna stay at the dress. No, you're gonna come off the money on top.
Right. She had an agenda. When you kept the dress, you had an agenda.
Hold on, let's hear it.
I was really naive at that age, and in the way of I wouldn't have, only because I wouldn't have known how to get out of it. I wouldn't have known how to handle myself in that situation.
Wait, let me tell you guys something. Let me give you some background information. I get y'all some background information real quick.
Having to go away.
I'll give you some background.
No, let me say something real quick, Jay. You can fuck with Hillary. You can fuck with Hillary, and you can bring up the candidates and all that. You sleep with Hillary's husband, she gonna run your fucking career. Period. Just like period. And she didn't ruin that.
That's fair. She might even unalive you. Okay, wait.
Wait, hold on. Let me say something real quick.
Okay, wait. We doing a poll. Hold on, thought, Jack. Shirley,
what?
At 20 years with your 20-year-old brain, and it's the president of the United States of America.
No,
and you the intern.
You know, I became more ghetto when I got older. I'm too Christian at that point. Very, very Christian girl.
You know what? Now, I always this is the thing. I would not have done it because, like Ashley, I was too naive at that. I wouldn't even picked up the heat.
That's a good one. I would have never picked up on that. I'm not green. I would have never picked up on the fact that he was interested in me.
I would have been a little dumb.
Yeah,
but at the same time, when I look back on certain opportunities, like, you know what, here you was working hard, girl. You didn't even have to work that damn hard. If I knew that what I knew then, I probably wouldn't have worked that hard, but I really didn't know that.
Ooh, Kiki. A revelation.
Come on now.
Kiki, something just dawned on me. You think about it. Monica Lewinsky, she did not admit to her and Bill having real sexual intercourse. He just slobbed, she slobbed on a knob. So that's no different from like in a regular world. Like guys will let, harlots or whatever, suck them down, but they not gonna have sexual intercourse with them.
What's the problem?
Wait a minute, hold on. You guys gotta remember this. I put this poll. I gotta give you guys some information because the thing is, this is not Bill Clinton was her second affair with a married man. She did this before when she was 17.
Obviously, this girl has practice because, as we all admitted, we would have all been too naive at that age to even have picked up on the cues. I would have thought.
And then also keep in mind, Bill Clinton loved Monica. FYI, just to let y'all know.
Okay, but listen, that's her second married man, which, quite frankly, that ain't saying nothing. Because if you're cute, girl. It's hard. It's not what we supposed to do. Check their papers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But listen, these men be rolling around like they single. So, as a young single woman, it's not shocking that a single woman could end up in entanglement for two. It freaking happens because these married men are fucking thirsty. Those are just the reality. Those just.
So you being 20 years old and you would have slobbed on an knob, Kiki.
But this is her second time.
I would have been too dumb to do it, but I would regret it. I would be like, I should have just went on ahead and got me a book deal. Fuck this. Only to save my career, only for them to want me to get vaccinated anyway.
But okay, so this is her second time with a married man when she was 20. Her first time was when she was 17.
But how many times did he cheat?
That's still problematic. Because she's 17 with a married man. That's 17. You a child.
How many times has he cheated on his wife?
Exactly.
Bill did not penetrate her. So Jay said he loved her. If he loved her, he would have had sexual intercourse with her or something.
He's busy.
He had time. Goddamn, Bill had all the goddamn money in the face.
Making love and all of that type of shit. He didn't have time.
No, I just have a problem with that. That's already problematic that she's already been with a married man at 17. So,
but she is struggling. The girl got bills.
And so that's what I'm saying. Like, this is not her fault. So at 17, a grown married man taking advantage of her. Then she turns 20. She's an intern at the White House. And then the president of the United States of America is harassing her. How is she getting the blame out of any of this? I never understood that. I always thought that was
didn't have a role to play. I don't just totally blame it on her. But then when Monica Lewinsky decided to come to the forefront and talk about bullying, girl, you slept with the whole
because she was bullied. She was harassed. Yeah, she can. She was 100% harassed by that.
If the president of the United States is willing to risk it all for you, and you are a poor person, male or female, and you go on ahead and go for it.
If
I just have to sit here and condemn you to hell like you some fucking kind of crazy person. I can understand somebody being at that level of desperation.
No, again, I understand that, and I understand the fact that she was like, I'm an intern, I'm at the White House, and the boss, the head boss, the president, is over here telling me to get on my knees. What is she supposed to do?
I gotta get a point of clarity.
Hillary ain't sucking no knob on a cob. That's what Hillary ain't doing.
Can I get a point of clarity real quick? Keep in mind that Monica Lewinsky was born and raised in Bev Hills. Her family has money like that. And the reason why she was in DC is because they divorced. Her mom got a big, huge money settlement. Remember KIKI and they were living at they were staying extended stay at the fucking Watergate Hotel.
Yeah,
remember that? Yeah, so that's another piece of information that's off there.
You were poor and you was
not poor.
For the president. What do people doing?
Now, KIKI, the thing is, what I was saying was Linda Tripp, she pissed me off from the day one. And she's like,
Bill Clinton.
Huh? Wait, mute. MV, mute. MV, you gotta mute. Hey, so the whatchamacallit was what pissed me off about Linda Tripp is like she seemed like she was like rose gold, just messy, starting little dags, little digs.
So like I'm gonna run this massive fucking redirection for absolutely nothing. For no reason.
But that's how she, yeah, exactly. That's how she went. But KIKI, tell me, what is your evaluation? Did she annoy you from the first syllable? I was already pissed off. That's when I knew I had to watch this show. Because I was like, I realized how annoying she was.
There is something annoying about her, but at the same time, this character is acting her ass off. So I'm really enthralled.
Oh, did you see what's her name play Hillary Clinton? I think she's the perfect Hillary too. I think Monica's messy. I don't like Monica Lewinsky's character, but Hillary Clinton, what's her name? From Nurse Jackie.
I don't feel like the girl they casted her for is like kind of like cute enough. I don't know if that's.
She's not tall enough.
Monica was cuter than that. I feel like
Monica's 5'10". Yeah, and Monica's like 5'10". Yeah, it's crazy. I thought they were trying to troll her.
Devastating.
They do that.
I grew up in Arkansas, and Bill had a whorehouse in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, when he was governor. I believe it too.
I believe every story about him. I believe every story. I think it's all true. I even believe all those people that just go missing and be sick for no reason. I think everything about the Clintons is true. But the thing is that that's what happens when you have true power. You have true power is not just being powerful yourself, it's having people willing to ride and die for you.
Well, they didn't start shutting the internet down until Hillary Clinton didn't get what she wanted. We have been having these conversations, and because Hillary wasn't president, it was primarily directed at Barack Obama. Obama was a clone made from the DNA of King Tut and Malcolm X. He was the second coming of Satan. He is the Antichrist. Barack Obama was to bring about the destruction and damnation in World War III, according to Alex Jones and the internet, and nobody got shut down. It wasn't until Hillary Clinton's fucking business. Now, meanwhile, there was little tidbits here and there, but never like laser focus from that many directions, that many eyeballs on Hillary. And that wiki shit, that is when they were like, no, that's it. We're going to break every law. Fuck the Constitution. They literally had a conversation. I was like, fuck that Constitution.
Yeah. I think also that the Pizza Hut gate. situation, the Papa John's gate.
And she was heavily involved in that.
Yep. That did it right there.
This sends John Podesta out to concede for her.
Oh my God. Wasn't that pathetic?
When that happened, that was the first omen that this shit was gonna get ugly. That was the omen. Yep. When John Podesta came out, that shit was like, am I reading this wrong, or is he saying we're fucking invincible? Now watch this and fuck you and your country and your constitution, and we're gonna lasso the moon, and we're gonna fucking steal the sun and all the stars, and there's nothing that any of you fuckers can do about it.
Well, you know what actually happened that night, or she couldn't come out because she actually got into a fight. Like, she started beating up her husband, she beat up her the one campaign guy, and then she threw something at John Podesta. And that's the reason why she couldn't come out. She was disheveled because she like went.
I understand why. They had promised her like how she had the same Illuminati meeting that Newsom and Cuomo and all the rest of those assholes sat together at the round table, and they're not done with Newsom's ass. See, now he could have went out the easy way. Now Newsom's gonna go out the hard way like Cuomo. This was his out. But the Republicans fucking fumbled, and I'm somewhere like I can't decide if Republicans are just weak or incompetent or y'all trying to help the other side. I don't know what
they're trying to help the other side.
No, Jay, some of them are weak. You gotta think, like even when protesting all Antifa and every BLM coming out, like the old school conservatives are terrified of them. That's why they need some hardcore black people that will put some.
They don't want it.
They don't want it because they can't control us. They want to be able to use us, and then we go back down to the ghetto and shut up. And they can't
do not want to control Negroes, Jay. That's the point. They want you to be self-sufficient, so you're not knocking at their doors talking about no damn reparations. Like,
but at the same time,
yeah, but they want to still be able to control our self-sufficiency.
I have a problem with becoming self-sufficient by making my money from blood money from this system. Where if I decide to not be a criminal and I decide not to do, work in fact.
What happened?
Kiki lost herself off her own channel.
Huh?
Are you back?
You lost yourself.
You lost yourself. Say it again. We can't see you, but we can hear you. Go ahead, Kiki.
Oh, I was just saying, like, it doesn't matter what profession you pick, some kind of way, it's like helping to keep this train on the tracks, and it's blood money, in every aspect of it. They're not helping. It's more harm than it is help. And we, it's a damn shame, a day and age where we can't trust our hospitals, where we don't feel safe. We've been looking for a boogeyman. There ain't no fucking aliens and Candyman and Freddy Krueger and none of that shit. It's these motherfuckers in the hospital that's supposed to be the people that keep you safe, that you have to be worried about. They have shown to not have integrity, running around here talking about unvaccinated people need to die and all this other crazy shit like that.
They can talk about whatever. They can't bust the goddamn grape. That's why I told Congress and the goddamn put these zombies on the ground. Ain't nobody playing with them like that.
Bill has a black son. Yeah, I remember that whole situation with Bill Clinton's son. We never saw him again either.
Yeah, we don't know what happened to that situation. And
Hillary's business gets scrubbed from the internet. WikiLeaks doesn't matter, doesn't count. Yeah, those are the real emails, but the way that you got them, we don't like the way that you came in contact with them. So therefore, we don't have to acknowledge anything that was said. We don't have to ever answer any questions. Fauci's emails came out too.
Well, we'll blame it on the other alphabet department. Blame it on the NSA.
Blame it on anybody. Blame it on the rain. Right. But they're going to continue to do what they've been doing. And it's like, who's going to stop me? And I'm just wondering who the fuck is going to stop them?
I don't know. That's a good question. I keep waiting for the Wood people to come out. And they're not coming Somebody?
I don't care if it's a Marvel character, DC, but somebody needs to do something.
No. And if they think it's going to be black,
because most conservatives, I guess it just depends on your regions. It depends on how actively you are involved. Like with local government, but things are happening behind the scenes. People just can't see it.
Well, I can't see it. And that's probably has something to do with living on the West Coast, because these people over here are so damn brainwashed.
There's a lot of behind the scene lawsuits that I can tell you people email me about and privately talk to me about. That's still that lawsuit regarding Kamala wannabe Black Harriet's parents not really being U.S. citizens at the time of her being here, and that she doesn't meet the guidelines to be VP. That lawsuit's still going.
I mean, we went through that already with Obama.
Right. So, and she's VP now. So what are you gonna do with that?
Nobody's in charge.
Kiki, I want to answer your question regarding California and the governor's race and why did it go the way it did. You know, when we lost we lost a lot of seats in 2018. Matter of fact, a lot of seats we won that night, and then we woke up the next morning and the numbers had changed. And a lot of the leadership and underground people like myself were saying something's not right, because I've never seen races that they were going to win and then all of a sudden they lose the next day. This race was very strange because you had 45 people running for governor, 45 people. And Gavin Newsom acts like he was the second coming of Christ with a write-in. So you could literally write your name in. That was also weird compared to Arnold Schwarzenegger's race, where I think there were 25 people running for governor. But let me tell you when California had this nail in its coffin. In 2010, what happened was we became an open primary. Now, closed primary, for those who don't know, means you guarantee a seat. You guarantee a Republican seat and you guarantee a Democrat seat and maybe some independents. But when California became an open primary, that meant it was a free-for-all. It could be two Republicans, it could be two Democrats. And at that point, you did not have a stable seat. You did not have a steady seat to say, let's fill a Republican in and give the person a choice. The Republicans were slowly diminishing and getting washed away. In this election, there was a lot of efforts for the recall, but there was no quarterback being developed. What does that mean? There was a lot of time and energy on getting this man recalled and getting the race and getting the ballots in place. But the Republicans and those who put this event together never had a unified person to drive the energy behind.
They didn't have one prepared for Hillary Clinton either. So this is why Trump was the president in the first place. They didn't have one prepared for Hillary Clinton either. And I think individuals who were sitting on the Hillary's campaign, I think they intentionally sabotaged her too.
Well, she had a lot of Democrats that didn't like her, so they didn't care.
Yeah, she blamed Obama and Biden, and they said because the thing is, Biden was going to run wanted to run that year, but she feels that they sabotaged her because Obama paid her back for all the Muslim stuff that she did, which is true. I think that's true too.
And if it weren't for Hillary,
that was sweet revenge.
If it weren't for Hillary, as bad as, you know what I'm saying, she has done horrible things because the Libya bullshit. But if it wasn't for Hillary, a lot of people would not be in the position that they are in.
You mean in a good way or a bad way?
Both.
You got to keep in mind when Obama got out of office, he was prepping the position for presidency for her. She had already had in mind that she was going to put a Supreme Court justice person in place.
And the Republicans at that time had nobody set in stone. They turned around and had 12 candidates coming out. So what is the point of having an RNC? What is the point of you having a Republican Party if the members of the party are all doing whatever the fuck it is that they want to do?
You're in a climate and an era. Remember this when I'm telling you this in life. You're in a climate and an era of the changing of the guards, because these people all are old. They're 70 and 80 years old, and they're rhinos, and they're Democrats. There is no Republicans. There are no Democrats. There's one world dominant. There's one ideology dominant.
I keep hearing that, but I don't see no guards changing.
No, you won't see any guards change because they all wear the same pants. That's the point I'm trying to make to you. Until these people die off or a rise of the next revolutionary generation of people, you're going to get the same old, same old. These people, they take their Botox and they whatever, they wear the Depends while they sit in office and pee all day. and then they get a Cortez and a couple other ones in there just so they can make it look like they're bringing young people in who ain't got no brain, who used to be bartenders, and keep it moving. These people are not passing the guard.
The bartenders.
Yes, Cortez was a bartender. What did she do before? She was a waitress, a bartender. They ran her for office in New York. Well, but she's pretty. That's all that matters, right?
What?
Y'all go do your homework on that woman.
I don't need to. That's not my cup of tea. I don't need to research none about that crazy bag.
I couldn't believe when they did that. And then they had pictures of everything. She was already scandalous before she got in there. And they knew she could play the gangster card and play whatever card they want. You know, it's the same thing with if you've got Candace Owens fighting with, what's the other girl, Kim, whatever her name is, or what's her name? Those two black women. Neither one of those.
Besides, do you think maybe they should start drug testing these idiots before they vote, and they should make them. We should know whether or not they know how to read, because at this point, who's voting for them?
Well, I mean, and then they used to have those tests, and you know, it was considered racist and voter suppression.
No, we don't want to drug test for weed and stuff, cannabis and stuff, but like, should we start drug testing them at this point? Making sure they know how to read? Because I know a lot of individuals who quote unquote vote, and they don't know how to read.
I think it just doesn't work.
Nope.
They don't know how to read.
I think that the nature of.
And these individuals who are voting, like FYI, like it's not rocket science. If individuals who have not finished school, granted, if you do not want to go to college and get a higher learning education, a lot of individuals who are voting did not finish high school, did not get their GEDs, and I have a problem with that.
Just basic things.
Basic. I have a problem with that.
You know,
how long can we let this type of stuff go on? Like at some point in time, we have to be able to protect voting rights. And they call it racist, but I really truly think if you have dropped out of school in a 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th grade, you do not deserve to get a vote. Period. You don't. That's just the way I feel. I'm sorry.
I don't feel like the public school system is necessarily making people any smarter either.
Nope.
Yeah,
but there's a bigger issue going on too.
Do you want someone who's voting who do not understand what a law is, a basic law?
I think that if it wasn't for the media lying and literally flat out lying, censoring actual truth, and pumping out lies 24/7, we have a more informed population. And you know what? Technically, the news is an entertainment program. And they don't have to tell you the truth about anything. And they can stage events all day long, and it's not illegal to feed propaganda to you all. You know what I'm saying? And the CIA and whoever else is like probably helping them. So
I don't mess with
what needs to happen? What needs to happen is just like they keep putting a COVID warning label on every single social media post that we make, letting fact checking and that type of shit. Or if you alter a photo, they need to alert people that it's been altered. They need to let people know that their news program is for entertainment purposes, fucking only, like Jerry Springer.
Well,
because people really go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, one of the biggest things also is that, you know, one thing that pisses me off is that, isn't it interesting how the Afghan immigrants are coming in here and they're getting all this, they put $1 billion up for them. There was no vote. There was no conversation. There was no public study, or we got to do all this little crazy stuff. And the thing is that they have a solution for people not working. They're not going to raise the wage or anything like that. They're not going to care about all this, the stuff that we're talking about. They're going to use the media to manipulate us into accepting these people who supported bin Laden and these terrorists after 9/11. And just come over here and just be chilling and getting free stuff all the goddamn time. And so the thing is, these voting, let's talk about the voting. They're going to be, the voting bills right now are to make sure that those individuals can vote. It has nothing to do with us or even the stuff that Andrew was talking about.
Joseph Wright makes a good point. Says Democrats say voter ID is racist. Also, Democrats, we need you to have a vaccination ID to live freely. Yeah, basically. Very good point. Democrats
and it's interesting because I talked to Fox News, Black Soul, and I talked to a lot of those producers. And the three conversations we have is the voter, prison reform, and we're not even talking about reparations, and the homeless of the Black community. And I say to them, okay, you guys agree with me with the homeless, you agree with me with prison reform. She says, yes, but let's talk about voter ID. I said, why? I said, there's minority issues and priority issues. For some reason, you have dished all these Black people in California, which is 80 to 90% homeless, and you have not band together to use your united platform at the magnitude that you build it to bring back in the homeless issues, the mental wards that we need to have, the housing that needs to be done. But yet Afghanistan people can come here and you're going to give them a $23 to $25 to $2,800 per family. And yet now you want me to start talking about, let's talk about the voter. I said, you're pivoting. You're pivoting. You keep pivoting onto some other damn subject matter.
No, the voting is for them. Talking about voting is for them. That's what they're paid to do.
That's what keeps them out.
We can talk about any social issue that predominantly affects Black communities only without incorporating other groups. That's what Black people need to understand. It's like, that's why I have an issue with the unhinged. And I say unhinged LGBTQRSTUV because anytime you're speaking about Black men's rights or anytime you're speaking about women's rights, here they come chuckling in.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, we appreciate that, but at the same time, and I'm not speaking about the gays who know how to stay in their lane and deal with their gay issues. Gay individuals for 200 years have had everything that they asked for. They've had the funding, they had the backing, they're able to get married now. What more do you want?
But even moreover on that too, if you remember, these alphabet people owned slaves. They raped Black men on the damn plantations, raped Black women on the plantation. They were able to have everything else too.
See, you pivot just a tad bit, but if you think about it, and it's an issue that Black people do not want to speak about, and I understand what you're stating, but if you think about it, and I'm not saying that other cultures do not do it, but when it comes to like raping women, or I'm talking about real raping women or raping kids and all that other stuff, those are issues that Black plantations, they don't want to deal with those issues, and that's the type of generation that we're dealing with right now. So we can't keep blaming on white master did this, white master did. At some point in time,
I'm not blaming. No. You missed my point. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm saying on top of what you're talking about there, historically, they've never been oppressed. That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't understand the whole community, because there's never been oppression for them ever. The only thing that they couldn't do was hold hands and walk down the street. That's it.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
All righty, because it's underlying issues that Black plantations do not want to deal with, and this is what we have to deal with in the YouTube streets. We have to deal with it on Facebook. The news can't deal with it because then they're going to be seen as racist or be seen as coons or whatever. But those are the underlying issues that Black people do not want to face. Period. And we're not saying all as a collective. We're speaking about the ones who just want to pass generational, just think, toxic generational, just like BS is cool and it's okay, and it's not. The first thing the hotels want to mention is the slave masters raped us. Okay, we know that. We've known that for centuries. We're going to speaking about you pedophiles raping our little Black boys, our little Black children. So I understand from a like on the outside looking in how some gays feel, because they have been molested, they have been abused. That's for sure. And Black people cover it up in the church or whatever, or lack thereof or whatever, because I just feel like there's no more of the Black church. It's like diminished at this point, unless they're not a mega church. But I'm just like, when it comes to social issues dealing with Black people are not able to have the discussions. Black people are we're being shut out of the discussions, and other individuals such as liberal academia feel as though that they can speak collectively for Black people, no matter what color they are. They can be Black themselves. If you have not experienced certain issues, how are you able to speak on those issues?
I completely understand where you're coming from. Did Jay drop out here?
Jay probably went. Did your phone call there, Jay?
Gay men have never been discriminated against in America, and until they get married, God. That's right. 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 That's right.
And most gay people do not even want to be married. They're like, what the hell y'all doing? We don't want that issue, whatever. Now they have something to deal with. And that's why we have to know. I just love people based on their character, based on their heart and stuff. And I curse like a sailor and everything. But we can't keep putting people into these clusters and one size fits all. That's why I separate people based upon their ideologies, based upon their morals, based upon their ability to think for themselves. So I don't look at it as, it's gays and heterosexuals. I don't look at it like that.
The LGBT community umbrella kind of absorbs people into it before they even have an idea of what all that entails. And I think, especially with some of the different Black Lives Matter events and conversations were happening, there was a lot of conflict between BLM and LGBTQ, establishment, because these kids couldn't understand why they could not address solely the Black issue they were concerned about without it being turned into being about a lot of other groups at the same time. Because you got L, you got G, B, P, that's a lot of groups already,
They were exploiting the Black family and exploiting like the balanced LGBTQ or STUV. And if you think about it, the trans community do not get along with like the gays or the lesbians or whatever. So that's something that they have to deal with. That's not a heterosexual issue. Those are issues that you guys have. They have.
The men who were gunned down by the police were, to our knowledge, heterosexual fathers. And so here you have an organization, particularly Black Lives Matter. See, what the kids didn't understand was that Black Lives Matter was an LGBTQ organization from jump, and that they were using real tragedies that happened to heterosexual Black men to gain attention and money for a program that, in their words, where they wanted to move heterosexual Black men from the forefront of the civil rights movement. And so I don't see anything wrong with saying, bring attention to my plight as a Black gay person or a trans person or whatever. But why do you need your words, a cisgendered heterosexual person, to be the poster child? Then why are you using Mike Brown and Trayvon Martin and all these people, and Brianna was in there with her boyfriend? So why hide behind straight people to make money, only to turn around and funnel it into ideas that are trying to dismantle
the Black family.
The Black family, of your money came from, was sympathy for the fucking Black family. Is it because you believe that people don't sympathize with you and your struggle? And it's like, y'all not gonna act like it's really that dangerous out here for trans people. It's safer for trans people than it is for a heterosexual Black man in the hood. And I'm gonna specifically say in the hood, because in the hood is where it is permissible for cops to just drive in circles and literally wait for somebody to sit on the ground or about to walk so they can pounce on them and get in their business and pulling people over, and where they're heavily incentivized. You know what I'm saying? And so,
I'm sorry.
No, that's where we're seeing the most differences, and it has nothing to do with like trans people's lives don't matter, any of that shit. But like, are you, were you killed because you were trans, or were you killed because you're a Black man? They never know. It's not
or they kill because they mislead individuals. It's a lot of various factors that play a role in
It's not the male transitions that are up at all. It's always male to female. And there is riskier behaviors in men take. And first of all, being a woman, women cannot just be out every night standing on the corner and walking through alley by damn self and then soliciting sex on top of it. for $20 or whatever they're doing at truck stops, right?
Mm-hmm.
A woman who wants to do that has to go get a pimp if she's serious and alive. Right? But because you are a trans person or cross-dressing for the night or whatever your shtick is, you've got free of a dude. It never occurred to you, you have no business in alleys because it's never been a problem before as a man. Be roaming the street, strange thing, all hours of the fucking night. Anybody in a short, in the middle of the night, in the wrong place at the wrong time, snatched off the street, male or in between, and people really fucking ask for it. So let's really, if we have a conversation sometimes about this, how much of what you're experiencing is what you, because you're trained, and how much of it is because you're yourself as a woman and it's in a woman, and how much of it is because you're a fucking dude and you're
Exactly.
black. Because you're all three of these things, man. You're no longer one thing. You're
right. And another thing I want to reiterate, I don't like the toxic trauma bonding and just just to correlate like situations to like what you were speaking about. They think they get some type of sympathy or empathy for living reckless lifestyle when it comes to AIDS or other sexually transmitted diseases. And I'm like, what? Like on what green earth? I'm so sick and tired of people just like, because I see a lot of YouTube, they be like, oh, I got AIDS. And it admit that you lived a reckless sexual lifestyle. Basically, no matter if you're heterosexual or LGBTQ or STUV, you don't get sympathy nor empathy for that.
That's a whole nother conversation. Do you have anything you want to say to get off of here? Thank you, Envy, for all your girl. You know I love you.
Envy, you are a phenomenal woman. I just love listening to Envy. I don't have nothing to say. I just think they pivot off the civil rights. I mean, that's what they did. They popped on the civil rights. And again, we said nothing. And they're able to do what they were able to do. And after a while, after a while, it's wearing on those of us who do have voices, who do say something and don't get recognition, or don't even get forget about recognition, and at least get something allocated to work in my people's best interest. Like I've talked about with set-asides or some type of a piece of legislation that's going to better our communities. The people who have the higher platforms and the higher voices, they don't even execute it. So at this point, when we talk about, like Jay said, save yourself, people think we're joking. I'm not joking. You guys got to sit down and have a plan for your family. Because we are going to war. We're going to go to some type of civil war. And if we don't come up with a solution for our inner family, we're going to have problems. And we won't have to if we're prepared. You are silent. We can't hear you. Talk.
Oh, I said we ain't going to civil war with these pansies.
They can't even
putting it off.
They don't want civil war because they can't bust any grape. Seriously. Can't bust a grape.
Well, wait till the wood people. If the wood people come out, you'll see a different type of America.
Who is the wood people?
Okay, y'all need to do your homework. I keep talking about the wood people.
We know what the wood people is. They different people. It don't have to be just white people or rifles. They have wood people, Kiki. I told you that. Wood people.
Wood people. There are the wood people. Y'all ain't... America, Central America have these wood people, and they got their own agenda. I ain't playing with these wood people. I know they out there. And people don't realize
I want to thank all of you people for calling in. Y'all funny. You guys are very smart, and y'all also is crazy as hell. Y'all keep me cracking it up. You're talking about wood people. Coming to save us. Okay, but I'll take what I can get at this point. But thank you so much, Shirley. Thank you so much, Envy, Jay, Ashley, also for calling in.
Thank you, Kiki, for having us on the show.
Mrs. Hussar, Mrs. Green, Jay and company, Team Green.
Yes. All right, so I'll try to come back on Friday. We'll try to talk.
Ivy, make sure you email me. I'd love to talk to you personally.
Okay. All right, you guys. Talk to you guys later.
Make sure you guys
Chichi Lamb.
share this video, share the video. Thank you so much.
All right, and y'all know how to donate too. Right at the bottom of the screen. All right, bye.
Bye-bye. All right, family, I think my broadcast has, where we're at. Hey, I thought mine had signed off and it didn't. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Lawrence, thank you for coming in kind of late. MC, no, you came in early, didn't you? Oh no, you came in a little later. MC, I can't believe you hanged in until 3 in the morning. Boy, you something. What are we, 1 o'clock California time? I thank you so much for chiming in and you guys and your support. I hope you liked what Kiki had to say. And her and Jay and Envy are just amazing people. And the other sister that came in. I think that if the more conversations that we have in our ideology, if we agree or disagree from every aspect, at least we know what our community is doing. But like I've said before, there are people who have other agendas, and I don't, know what's going to come from all of that. But I just think you should stay in prayer, continue to pray, continue to ask God for discernment, read the Word of God, put Christ first, and remember to always, always have faith that something good is going to happen to you today, tomorrow, and the days to come. Don't give up hope. Don't be hopeless. But if anything, use wisdom in your action, because the green eggs and ham is real, and they want you to take them, and they want you to eat them. And I say no to Sam I am. So anyway, God bless you. Talk to you soon, you guys. Good night.